lines were temporarily stopped last night because of storms slamming the area. Showers delayed the Pearl Jam concert at Wrigley Field, flooded out homes in Downers Grove. Hundreds of flights were canceled at O'Hare. Meantime, beachgoers can expect more dangerous conditions along the Lake Michigan shoreline today. A beach hazard statement is in effect at Illinois and Indiana beaches until tomorrow. In fact, National Weather Service says wave heights today could reach 8 feet. Prosecutors will continue their case today against one of the men charged in the 2013 murder of a Chicago teen, Hydea Pendleton. While on the witness stand yesterday, the teenager's mother described the phone call that she received after her daughter was shot at a Southside park.
And then I asked if I could talk to her, and the officer said, no, she's already in the back of the ambulance, and that she was alive and well.
Prosecutors are expected to play a video-recorded confession today made by defendant Mikhail Ward after resting their case against Kenneth Williams yesterday. A man is facing 80 years in prison after admitting to raping 3 women in Joliet. A Will County judge sentenced Miguel Luna yesterday. He pled guilty in May to the criminal sexual assault of 3 women along the I-NEM State Canal Trail in 2015 and 2016. Now, Luna is in the country illegally and was ordered deported by immigration authorities in 2012. 2 Chicago police officers are facing disciplinary action after a photograph surfaced online showing them dozing while on duty. A picture of the officers sleeping in their vehicle has gone viral since posted on Facebook over the weekend. A CPD spokesman says an investigation has been launched and officers will be disciplined. One mayoral candidate blamed excessive mandatory overtime for the tired officers. Chicago's top cop is defending his officers after another violent weekend in the city. Over 57 were shot in Chicago from late Friday through early Monday, including 7 that were killed. Speaking yesterday, Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said his department can only do so much, adding they can't patrol every street corner. The police department in Chicago is also planning to release video of the moments before the shooting death of a 15-year-old boy last week on the west side. Authorities say Stephen Rosenthal shot himself in the head Friday night after a brief chase by officers. The teen's family has disputed claims that he committed suicide. White Sox skipper Rick Renteria is feeling better after being hospitalized overnight. The 56-year-old spent the night in the hospital after feeling lightheaded before last night's game against the Twins in Minnesota. Club officials say testing revealed no issues. Bench coach Joe McEwing served as acting skipper in Renteria's place. At 5:05, other news we're following this morning. The living arrangements of 2 Chicagoland priests who faced sex abuse allegations, causing concerns among neighbors in Lisle. The Reverends James Nowak and Richard Jacklin live in the St. John Vianney Villa in Naperville, next door to the Kennedy Junior High School in Lisle. Neither priest has been convicted of a crime or is a registered sex offender. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Joliet says one priest has already moved out. Another man is scheduled to leave Wednesday. The state of Illinois is quietly admitting that its balanced budget, structured by Democrats, isn't balanced at all. The Rauner administration acknowledges a $1.2 billion structural deficit in an offer to sell $920 million in state bonds. Now, that deficit comes from hundreds of millions of dollars of borrowing the state actually borrowed from itself, as well as budget predictions that rely on the sale of the Thompson Center. In addition to a new judge, former Illinois Congressman Aaron Schock now wants a new courtroom. Schock's lawyers yesterday asked to move his corruption trial to Peoria. Federal prosecutors say Schock lied on congressional and campaign spending accounts. The request comes a few days after the court removed the Urbana-based judge who was set to hear the Schock case. A fleet of U.S. Army helicopters was forced by bad weather to make Emergency landings all across southern Illinois and in St. Louis yesterday. One CH-47 Chinook landed in a restaurant parking lot in St. Louis. The California to Connecticut fleet of 4 CH-47 Chinooks had others land at Hunter Airfield in Sparta, and a fourth landed at another Missouri airport. All 4 Boeing aircraft later continued their flight east after the bad weather had passed. White Sox scored 4 runs in the second en route to an 8-5 win over the Twins in a makeup game in Minnesota. Matt Davidson, 2 for 5 with a 2-run home run. White Sox are back home to begin a 2-game set against the Twins tonight. Southsiders sending up top pitching prospect Michael Kopech to the mound to make his major league debut. The Cubs open a 2-game set tonight against the Tigers in Detroit. Bears pass rusher Leonard Floyd, recovering after having surgery to repair a fractured right hand on Sunday. And the Illinois men's basketball team will host Ohio State in December at the United Center. The news, a service of the Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA is a national nonprofit offering more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports. Coaches, parents, students, and administrators visit PCADevZone.org. 5:08 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
President Trump creating some Russia investigation news of his own this week when he...
You can talk about the weather, but the weather didn't pull the trigger.
If the Democrats get in, they're going to raise your taxes. You're going to have crime all over the place. You're going to have people pouring across the border.
We all still share the same objective of making sure that Iran doesn't get deliverable nuclear weapons.
What happens next?
That's a beauty.
Happens here. This is AM 560. The Answer.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit mygvn.com or call 877-695-1179 or online at mygvn.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
5:11 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Seeing very few flight delays at O'Hare and Midway this morning after many cancellations. Mentioned yesterday, Metro trains are back on schedule. CTA service has resumed on the red and brown lines after service was shut down. It's a fatal incident at the tracks overnight at Fullerton. Bishop Ford Freeway outbound, it's heavy from past 115th to 130th. Got a crash there just reported Inbound traffic, a little sluggish approaching the verge. Overnight work has cleared in that area. The other overnight construction is also gone on the expressways and tollways. Traffic, service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Use your power to cure and pedal with purpose. Spin for Crohn's and Colitis cures. Grab some friends to join you. It's a high-energy indoor cycling event benefiting the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Visit spin4.org to learn more. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly cloudy and breezy with a couple of showers, high 78. A shower in spots early this evening. Otherwise, tonight, patchy clouds with a low 60. Sunshine and a few clouds for tomorrow, high 78. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
70 at O'Hare, 72 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning, another statuesque blonde with a dubious college certificate, Sean from Elmwood Park.
You know, I couldn't help but notice yesterday the accolades thrust upon John Cass. The legendary.
Well, he did something. He's done something in his life.
Come on. I understand he could stream a sentence together, but nonetheless, how about a little flattery, for God's sake?
You earn flattery. Flattery is not just conferred upon you.
All right.
So we'll see how you do this morning. Let's talk a little state politics.
Oh, how exciting.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. If you want to talk a little state politics. If you don't, then you don't have to talk. You don't have to call in.
What about are you going to talk about the $20 million he cut himself?
That's
J.B. Pritzker? $20 million check again to himself?
In for a penny and for 400 pounds. I mean, Pritzker yesterday getting the endorsement, here's a shocker, of former President Obama, released a campaign video on his behalf. But what I really want to talk about is Krista McQuarrie's piece in the Chicago Tribune. Illinois Republicans prepare for a crash landing. I'm pointing this out because McQuarrie is a friend of the show, and she's been following state and local politics for 25 years and writing about it.
And
maybe
has been
20
to
years.
the
Maybe
Elmhurst.
I'm aging her.
Yeah. And has been to the Elmhurst Cigar House.
Another credential. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to have someone say it other than me. Prepare for the crash landing. Democrat voters are juiced. Pritzker's bottomless checkbook is feeding get-out-the-vote efforts. Campaign staff, candidates, mailers, and foot soldiers statewide. She talks about the $20 million another $20 million he put in over the weekend. $20 million.
But Republicans have
that
Pat
used to
Brady.
be a lot of money.
We got Pat Brady with the Botox and the golf tan. That's not going to help us?
Yeah, Pat Brady, right. The lobbyist for leftist interests who was kicked out of the state party back when you actually had some conservative self-respect.
But, Dan, he was interviewed yesterday, and he said if you're a fiscally conservative Democrat or a Republican, you have to support 7 foot of stupid and ignore the 3.5 years of failure. Not to mention the wife that likes everything that we say we hate, but now we pay for.
Well, of course, he's getting paid to say that, so I understand. Right. But here's the thing where McQuarrie drills down. Other Republican-leaning areas. Tom Morrison's Palatine-based district, up for grabs seat in Arlington Heights, possible flips to Democrats. John Cabello out Rockford ways in a tighter-than-expected race. Peter Breen in Glen Ellen, Lombard area, dead heat. Congressman Peter Roscom, and she doesn't mention it, but I'll add him, Congressman Randy Hultgren in the suburbs. I mean, Randy Hultgren out, kind of Kane, McHenry County way, in dogfights, dead heats. campaign. She essentially suggests that there's not enough appreciation for the, frankly, albatross effect of Rauner and in the suburbs Trump, and that combination, which has a demoralized Republican Party to the extent it exists anywhere other than on paper in Illinois. You're talking about no suburban Republican, and maybe even exurban Republicans like John Cabello in Rockford are safe.
So now, does this have to do with the decades of failure by Illinois Republicans, or the fact that the Democrat socialism has just spread and we're all socialists now? Which do you think it is? Because I think I'm happy about this, and you seem to be upset about this. I like this, because if you've been sitting in that office as your derriere got wider and the debt has gotten higher, you need to be thrown out. And that's the only way you're ever going to have any change. So I think these Republicans who have hid in the shadows and just wanted their piece of the pie need to be grabbed by the back of their head and thrown into the alley. Let's start all over again, because it's easier to be a socialist than a failure Republican pretending.
Range of other issues, I would say mostly property taxes if you care about your home. But there is something to this idea, not just that these individuals who have pantomimed conservatism deserve to be thrown out, but also, frankly, that opportunities have come and gone to change the paradigm in the Republican Party and change the paradigm in the state. And I emphasize gone. There have been opportunities to chart a different course, and unfortunately, largely, the Illinois GOP electorate has chosen time and again to put my money back with Madoff, even after I've been notified it's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. Well, listen, the proof is in the pudding, because we have had Republicans. I've been listening for 30 years that I'm aware of, how we have Illinois Republicans and they have the answer. Yet the history is that the Illinois Republicans are the one that put the nail in the coffins of conservatism. So it's time to get a fresh new batch of them. Throw them all out. I was disgusted when LaHood added the gas tax that continues to go on. I'm disgusted now, as the murmur is, the big scheme is another new tax on those of us that work in a mileage tax that's floated not just by Democrats, but there's a group of Republicans that like it.
I mean, but this is bad money after bad money. New analysis of Census Bureau data. The number of Illinois towns making the nationwide top 20 list for property tax burden.
How'd we do?
We're well represented. Evanston is 7th.
Ooh.
Naperville is 8th. Arlington Heights is 9th. Schaumburg is 13th. Skokie is 14th. Palatine is 15th. Bolingbrook is 16th. Most of the rest of the top 20 are held by New Jersey. We're in stiff competition with them for liquidating your home via government taking. So, but we seem to like this. And the Republican Party has had opportunities to do something on the topic, and they haven't. So, as you were saying, it's been 3 decades of Republicans and Democrats are all fiscal conservatives. Every single one of them is fiscal conservative. Every single one of them is serious about doing something about your property taxes, and they're going to freeze them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember when the 2 years, and I was with Lee Daniels in the House Republican staff at the time, when you actually had the House, 94 to 96, the 2-year interregnum of Madigan's lordship, 40-year lordship, property tax freeze. That was one of the agenda items, platform planks.
Did he do it?
26, sort of, but another one of these Swiss cheese property tax freezes with backdoors for bonds, and so it's a property tax freeze. It's not a freeze. Like everything in Illinois, it's not what it appears to be. Conservatives, you think Ocasio-Cortez doesn't know what socialism is? You think the Illinois Republican Party, and I'm not talking about just the politicians who prey on people. I'm talking about rank and file. You think they know what conservatism is? A lot of them still think Bruce Rauner is a conservative. Yeah. A lot of them think charlatans like Joe Walsh are conservatives. These aren't conservatives. This snake in Lake County, Mark Shaw, this lawyer who's now the conservative representative on the state party because he sold out for a title, just the way that Joe Walsh sold out to Bruce Rauner to support him in the primary against Jeannie Ives. How does a so-called conservative do that? All these, so you have fake conservatives and then people go into the booth in March or November who don't know the difference.
So I have a question. With the automation that's available today and the fact that we can track to the minute what a home value or property value is worth per foot automated, and if the Republicans like Lee Daniels had done the property tax freeze when he had the opportunity, what would happen to these law firms of Zoot Suit, Ed Burke, and Mike Madigan, and all of the other Democrats who are interwoven through these really schemes? Where if
the
you've
property
got the
tax
right
appeals
clout,
attorneys.
what happens to them if that happens?
Well,
so the reality is it can't happen because the real money
it
is
can.
in the corruption. And unless you're born into a trust fund like Stretch Marks Pritzker, this is just the snake continues to feed on itself. And we pretend there's some fight that Republicans are going to put forward.
Greg in Schaumburg. Rogers Park.
Hi, good morning, guys. I'm really disappointed that so far the message of the Republican Party has not been energetic, showing that true fiscal conservatism is a benefit for all people, and that by the lower property taxes, the pro-growth, pro-business, keeping the people living here in Illinois because they have job opportunities and real business opportunities. That government, we don't communicate the message that well, and people aren't being tuned into that. All they see is J.B. Pritzker saying he's going to make everything great, he's going to give out handouts, he's going to make the rich pay their fair share, and that kind of advertising seems to work. But we've got to have a real strong message, and pray to God we can get Eric and Harold elected. Otherwise, we're going to be really in big trouble with the Attorney General's office, because the guy running against her, he's an evil son of a gun, and he's going to turn the Attorney General office even worse than it is now, in my opinion.
All right.
We really got to get behind our people.
And we got to get you a better phone.
Thanks for the call, Greg. I mean, the problem is, to Greg's point about strong message of fiscal conservatism. Who's the messenger?
The guy in the lumberjack shirt, right?
The
woodshed guy?
The problem is, if you don't have credible messengers for the message, then you got a problem. And so that's why the Republican Party, as Kristen McQuarrie is pointing out, has a problem.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Okay, so we've got a few weeks left of where we're not going to be freezing. So today it's going to be mostly cloudy, breezy, with a couple of showers. Oh, this is summertime in Chicago, baby. High 78. Tonight, a shower in spots early this evening. Otherwise, patchy clouds, low 60. That's good sleeping weather. Tomorrow, look at, they use words like delightful. Is this you, Justin? You kid you. Delightful with sunshine and a few clouds. It's going to get 78 tomorrow. Thursday, it's beautiful with sunshine. Look at you. You should write for Hallmark. Then Friday, it's not going to matter. I'll be filling in for Joe Walsh at 5 to 7. However, now we're going to go to, I'm going to say Jim Telemonte, because I saw Dick Tracy in the hallway, and I'm assuming that's you again in that costume for rain.
Good morning, Sean. That was just wonderful. Good morning, Dan. On the Edens, the Kennedy, things are fine right now. The roads are wet. A lot of little following distance. Eisenhower is still okay. Inbound Stevenson, got a 2-minute delay now, central to Cicero. Inbound Ryan, about a 2-minute delay. Roosevelt into downtown. Bishop Ford, heavy inbound Stony Island to the Ryan. Outbound past 115th, 130th to crash. Either way, it's about a 5-minute delay. Tollways are good, no problems. Freeport in Northwest Indiana. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Seems like summer just got started, but it's not too soon to start thinking about the fall, at least when it comes to your child's education. Registration for fall enrollment for grades 7 through 12 is happening now at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, providing young men and now women with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Since 1884, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin has been developing the minds and shaping the character of young men from around the country and around the world, many of whom have gone on to achieve great success. And now, that same opportunity is available for young women. They prepare cadets for success in life by instilling a solid work ethic, an understanding of the value of integrity and teamwork, and the ability to think critically, communicate well, and function in a diverse and ever-changing world. To learn more about fall enrollment or to schedule a visit, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A+ rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
One of Benjamin Franklin's most famous quotes was, "They who give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety." Current events show this to be as true as ever.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
When it comes to maintaining our vehicles, we all know to change the oil. But did you know cleaning the fuel system is just as important? Even high-quality fuel can leave behind carbon deposits, robbing your engine of power and fuel economy. Gumout has a solution. Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner. Regain contains polyetheramine, a nitrogen-based detergent that safely removes deposits to help restore engine performance. Get a bottle of Regain today for just $4.94 at your local Walmart. Gumout. Science in, performance out.
AM 560.
The Answer. Talking state politics quickly. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know what? I agree with everything you guys are saying, but the one thing that the message that should be sent out by you guys is that every tax and every fee in this state will go up, and it's going to go up a lot. I'm talking about adding fees to your Metro ticket. For all you suburbanites out there that think that this ain't going to affect them, your real estate taxes are going to skyrocket. And guess what's going to happen? A lot more people in my age group are going to leave. And you know what? When they start leaving, and Dan, you've been talking about this for quite a bit, you know what? Those are the people that you want to stay. People like me that actually spend money and doesn't cost the state anything. But you know what? We're all going to leave, and this is what you're going to have. So this state is a spiral into the ground. Have a nice day.
Thanks for the call, Ed. You're right about that. Unfortunately, that's the same thing that happened under a Republican governor. Coming up at 5:38, we'll talk Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings as the ad wars ramp up 2 weeks out. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
69 degrees. Skies are cloudy. President Trump's spat with former CIA Director John Brennan shows no signs of letting up. Yesterday on social media, the president said Brennan was a hack, and, of course, the president pulled John Brennan's security clearance last week. Microsoft says it shut down 6 websites that tried to pose as the U.S. Senate, a conservative organization, and Microsoft itself. Software giant says the fake sites aimed to trick people into thinking they were clicking on sites run by the conservative Washington think tank, the Hudson Institute. The White House says a former Nazi labor camp guard who was captured by ICE agents has been deported to Germany. Yaakov Pauli came to the U.S. in 1949, became a U.S. citizen in 1957 after lying about his Nazi background. The statue of a Confederate soldier at a North Carolina college is down, knocked down by protesters. Around 250 marched on the Silent Sam Confederate soldier at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, calling for its immediate removal, and then kicked it down. The university said in a statement protesters' actions were dangerous and they're investigating. Storms and heavy rain to blame for causing problems around Chicago, the Chicago area. Metro lines were temporarily stopped. Basements were filled in Downers Grove. Even the Pearl Jam concert at Wrigley Field was extensively delayed. Meantime, beachgoers can expect another dangerous day along the lakefront in Illinois and Indiana. A beach hazard statement is up. The National Weather Service says they're warning people to stay out of the water. Prosecutors will continue their case today against one of the men charged in the 2013 murder of Chicago teen Hadiya Pendleton. Meantime, prosecutors rested their case against Kenneth Williams yesterday. White Sox manager Rick Renteria feeling a bit better after being hospitalized in Minnesota. The 56-year-old spent the night in the hospital after feeling lightheaded before last night's game against the Twins. White Sox did score 4 early en route to an 8-5 win over the Twins in a makeup game in Minnesota. Sox are back home tonight to begin a 2-game set against Minnesota. Southsiders are sending top pitching prospect Michael Kopech to the mound. Cubs open up a 2-game set against the Tigers in Detroit. The news is a service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Use your power to cure and pedal with a purpose at Spins for Crohn's and Colitis Cures. Grab some friends to join you for this high-energy indoor cycling event. It benefits the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Visit spin4.org to learn more. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher, The Mike Gallagher Show.
There are plenty of good, solid journalists who do their best to report the news straight down the middle. But there are plenty of corrupt journalists who masquerade as news people who are actually advocates. They're trying to stop this presidency, and normal people know it.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Progressive Insurance. Pick from a range of coverage options with the Name Your Price tool to find a price that works for you.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Without further ado.
Hi, I'm Patty Fritz, Precision Payroll's first employee. Yes, I'm real. I love working with my team and our clients and providing the best service and support. Hard to believe it's been that long. But when you love what you do, it's great. And I do love what we do at Precision Payroll. I didn't start for myself either.
That's right, Patty. I was there day one, and I'm still working with you today. Hi, I'm Jack Bishop, owner of Priority Logistics in Elk Grove and Precision Payroll's first client. Yes, I'm real too. Precision Payroll has served us exceptionally for 35 years. We've grown together over the years, and I look forward to many more to come.
Jack and Patty, thank you both for making Precision Payroll of America a great company to do business with. To join our growing ranks of clients, visit us at precisionpayroll.com.
5:36. Let's get an update on the roads now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eisenhower traffic's heavy. Wolf Harlem, it's 32 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 5 at 29. No delays yet on the Hedens, the Spur, or the Kennedy. Stevenson inbound, tight Harlem to Pulaski. 37 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan delays from 95th to 79th and 31st to Circle. 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 15. I-57, 19 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford 20. Outbound Bishop Ford slow past 115th, 130th. Earlier crash is cleared. Northbound Tri-State, there's a brief delay from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Their tollways are good. No delays right now in northwest Indiana. Some rough weather over the lake. Traffic service of unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment at unbound.org. traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy, breezy. We'll have some showers today, high 78. Currently 70. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is picked for you by Gobert's Pumpkin Patch, opening Friday, August 31st for apple picking.
Man, this kid's got a lot of time on his hands.
He really does. He's getting better. I think he's more of a rocker.
He's doing good, man.
Some of his soft 80s rock stuff, like Go-Go's impersonations, not as good.
Sings better than he dresses.
Sean from Elmwood Park is in for Amy J this morning, and we're just a couple of weeks away from Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings, and so the ad wars are ramping up, although, as Politico points out, liberals are getting crushed in the SCOTUS spending war, not just in terms of the issue of Kavanaugh's confirmation and the various interest groups, but also with respect to Republicans using the Kavanaugh confirmation hearing as a way to go after blue state Democrats. For example, Rick Scott in Florida, running for Senate against incumbent Bill Nelson. Yeah, you wish he was your governor. Rick Scott has launched an ad campaign against Bill Nelson on this very issue.
I'm Rick Scott, and I approve this message.
June 27th, Supreme Court Justice Kennedy resigns. July 2nd, Senator Bill Nelson pledges to vote against the new Supreme Court Justice, no matter who it is. July 9th, respected Judge Brett Kavanaugh nominated to the Supreme Court. August 3rd, U.S. senators from both parties schedule meetings with Judge Kavanaugh. But Bill Nelson refuses to give the judge a fair hearing, won't even meet him. Bill Nelson isn't representing Florida. He's not even doing his job.
Spending focused on Doug Jones in Alabama, Manchin in West Virginia, Heitkamp in North Dakota, Joe Donnelly next door in Indiana, Susan Collins and Murkowski, the two squishy Republican senators from Maine and Alaska, respectively. But it turns out, not just Kavanaugh was a good pick, arguably, I would argue, in terms of conservative jurisprudence, originalism on the high court, but also he's serving as a bit of a political weapon for senators running in states that Republicans could gain the seat.
Well, listen, I mean, I'm reading over, you give me the documents and we read over what the spending is. It's mind-boggling that they're spending this kind of money in Alabama. Republicans spend 7 times the money Democrats spend on a Supreme Court nomination. So it's become,
Well, it's because that's part of an overall election strategy to make sure you motivate your base. And remember, Doug Jones is a short-timer U.S. Senator. He's up in 2 years.
Yeah.
So running against Doug Jones in 2020 is sort of like running against Bill Nelson in November. I mean, you're in full campaign mode now because obviously it's a seat that the Democrats should have never won.
Well, and here's the issue too. I think that you use this as fodder. We gravitate to this kind of like I'm for them, I'm against them, and the reality is you take your eye off the ball of what the arguments are of substance when it comes to Kavanaugh. I like Kavanaugh. I like a lot of things about Kavanaugh. I'm very troubled with the last decision by the Supreme Court when it comes to privacy. I'd love to get some answers. I'm listening to all this. He's a Republican. He's this. I have yet to see him talk about the decisions and where he falls on.
Well,
and I pay attention to it.
Well, there's a couple of things. One is you've got hundreds of decisions he's authored.
Yeah.
So you can read them. This is a guy with a record, a robust record. Number two, you're going to have confirmation hearings in 2 weeks where he dances around that record. But the NRA is very clear about where Brett Kavanaugh stands when it comes to your individual right to self-protection. They're up with an ad in support of Kavanaugh.
4 liberals on the Supreme Court would take away your right to self-defense.
What does the Second Amendment mean to you? It's not the right of an individual to keep a gun next to his bed.
4 liberal justices oppose your right to self-defense. 4 justices support your right to self-defense. President Trump chose Brett Kavanaugh to break the tie. Your right to self-defense depends on this vote. Tell your senator, defend our right to self-defense. Confirm Judge Kavanaugh.
It's like a Saturday Night Live skit, though. I mean, it's like the music to Armageddon 2. You know, when the reality is the Republican John Roberts seized my liberty and bestowed upon me the yoke of tyranny, Obamacare. This last decision where cops, just cops, can decide whether to surveil me or not without a warrant, I was saved by that by the so-called liberal Democrats. My problem is we're so caught up in tribalism of Republicans and Democrats, we're missing what the issues are. So these are big, important topics to me. I'm not interested in the Republican Party. And you and I live the reality of a faux tribalism in Illinois. There are no real conservatives. There's different versions of stupid.
But there are real issues before the Supreme Court.
So I want to hear more from this guy and less about the Armageddon music.
And so, well, that's not Brett Kavanaugh running those ads. That's the NRA promoting, the individual right to self-protection. How important has the NRA been as a special interest group to hold politicians accountable in advance of your individual right to self-protection? So, yeah, I mean, it's easy to kind of do the wave off of special interest. That's cheap, too. That's the cheap politicians talk. It's a bromide. It's a one-sentence wave off. It's a fortune cookie. The NRA, a special interest group, pro-life groups, special interest groups. I'm glad that those are the platoons of democracy that Ed Burke and de Tocqueville talked about that are so important, actually, for a free society. If you don't want to rely on the government, if you're fearful of an expansive government, then you should be promoting these special interest groups that organize voluntarily and fund themselves voluntarily, except for Planned Parenthood, which, of course, is taxpayer-funded in part, to advance a worldview that you support or others that you don't support. But I'm glad for the NRA. I'm glad for pro-life groups. I'm glad that they're willing to take up the fight for Kavanaugh, and I'm glad that they're willing to take up the fight for my individual Second Amendment rights, because a collective universe of several million Americans speaks with a louder voice than one guy, even on the radio. So, let's just, pull the reins a little bit when we decry special interest group and the money in politics. Is there anything more important and game-changing over generations than a Supreme Court nominee? The answer is no.
No, yeah, I understand that. But it seems to me that what you're seeing is we're playing down to the lowest denominator rather than talking about those very issues. You're playing down to the lowest denominator, which is how we've gotten to the point where Republican Congress presents an omnibus, which is how we've gotten to the point where it's the Republicans that are the ones advocating spending, borrowing, collectivism. This is my issue. And we do it with the theme music rather than the actual issues. Where are the Republicans that run on principle? And the answer is they're few and far between. And our state is the quintessential representation of that.
Well, Planned Parenthood is doing the same thing.
Before Roe v. Wade,
women seeking abortion were forced to risk their health and even their lives.
Now, Trump has nominated Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court,
who would take us back.
Tell your senators, oppose Brett Kavanaugh. Protect our right to safe, legal abortion.
Yeah. Well, who's the one? And and you and I have talked about this the last couple times I filled in. Who's the governor in Illinois that made it so that we are all paying for the genocide called abortion? That's a Republican, right? And I got to have Ed in Oak Brook, who I like. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. Well, you got to vote for him, otherwise your taxes are going to go up.
Like they did under him.
Listen, exactly. Like they did under him. Who are the ones that put the nail in the coffins of conservatism? It is this saboteur Republican like Bruce Rauner. So do I have to endure 4 years of Pugsley? It looks like it. Because no matter what, 7 foot is stupid. He's going to put on his lumberjack shirt and pretend he's my guy.
Well,
throw his ass out.
Well, on the national issue, the D.C. press corps is doing their part to buttress the Planned Parenthood ad campaign. This piece in the Chicago Tribune, shameful piece that it is. With Supreme Court poised to change how to talk to your daughter about abortion.
Yeah. Want to come to my house and hear how I talk about it?
You have 2 daughters.
You're damn right, yeah.
And
I
are you talking to them about Brett Kavanaugh, what he means to their right to an abortion?
You should hear how I talk about
Quote,
abortion,
unquote, right.
and you should hear the retort that they have, because this is what they've learned in Catholic schools. All right,
Didn't send them to Bennett.
I send my kids to Catholic schools. I pay for my kids. I don't jump on the Soviet socialist public school for everybody. No. I pay the cost. We work our tail off, both myself and my wife, to Catholic schools, and they're presented the argument because they're taught by lay people, and they're presented the argument of abortion. See, to me, there's not a greater evil in society than killing an innocent person. Ironically, I'm for killing guilty people. So I want to abort the criminal and pardon the baby. That's how I talk. And I've talked to my daughters like this since they said the word and asked what it was, or we heard a commercial. You want to kill and hack up an innocent baby? That's what abortion is. You could call it abortion, and that's the word that they want to hide behind. It's the slaughter of true innocence.
Well, okay.
Just ask Diana Rauner.
I think a letter to the editor is forthcoming to Sidney Dampier at the Tribune, who wrote this wonderful think piece in which she opines you've likely had the sex talk with your daughter more than once and with substantially more information than your own mother probably doled out. I know. Old mom, the World War II generation baby boomers are such fuddy-duddies. They're not cool like you are, Cindy. But chances are that you haven't talked with your teen about abortion in detail. 1 in 4 women in the U.S. have had an abortion by the age of 45, according to the Guttmacher Institute. And there's still a stigma around ending pregnancy, they lament. But here's the good news. Oprah Winfrey is making it cool again, or making it cool for the first time. Oprah has promoting the Shout Your Abortion movement in her July issue of O Magazine, featuring the founder of that movement, Shout Your Abortion, to celebrate celebrate your abortion and thus eliminate the stigma associated.
The irony of a person like Oprah, who had a childhood that was torturous by her own disclosure of it, right? Wasn't she molested by uncle? That she came from absolute nothing and became who she is almost as stupid as somebody like Obama, born in 1961 of a white mother and a black married father. These are people, they are ads of why you should never have an abortion. Yeah, that these beautiful, innocent babies could go on to be everything.
Right.
And they're advocating that you slaughter the true form of innocence. It's despicable. It's ironic. It's laughable.
The irony is lost on them, but they're their own gods, so they could do what they did because of their own intrinsic greatness. But other people, well, they're other people.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Andrew Womack is coming back to the Chicago area. Don't miss this upcoming free event, the Chicago Gospel Truth Conference. This year, Andrew is joined by Powerhouse Bible teacher Keith Moore of Branson, Missouri. This year's conference will again be held at the Western Lombard Yorktown Center, August 23rd through 25th. Come expecting to receive profound revelation in the Word at this life-changing time of teaching and ministry, where the Word will be taught with clarity, simplicity, with a special emphasis on God's unconditional love and the balance between grace and faith. The conference is free, so bring your family and friends. Go to awmi.net/events for registration and event details. Andrew's Ministry of the Word will change you and set you free. Many will be saved, filled with the Holy Spirit, and healed. Special times of worship led by recording artists Charlie and Jill LeBlanc will uplift and encourage you. You'll be glad you were there. Go to awmi.net/events for registration and conference details. When you're looking for a caring dentist and an experienced dental staff who'll treat you like family, then it's time to call Dr. Y at Oaklawn Dental LLC. Dr. Yerkes and his team will create a smile that you'll want to share with family and friends. Go to oaklawndentist.com for a complete list of services, or call Oaklawn Dental for an appointment with Dr. Y at 708-424-5700. And for a limited time, get a $100 credit on your new account. Call 708-424-5700. Oaklawn Dental LLC for the smile you deserve.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you. The needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Did you know, Amy, that McHugh Construction is the premier builder of landmark, one-of-a-kind structures in Chicago and across the Midwest, but they also perform on smaller projects?
Yes, Dan, I do. The Special Olympics Eternal Flame of Hope at Soldier Field, Gibson's Italia, Mad West Restaurant in the United Center, and the recently completed Ritz-Carlton lobby. In fact, McHugh has served public and private sector clients since 1897 on big and small projects, and are proud to have played a major part in improving Chicago's infrastructure and helping to redefine its iconic skyline. For information on how McHugh can play a part in your project, visit McHughConstruction.com.
Yeah, that Gibson's Italia is nice. That's McHughConstruction.com, MCHUGH Construction.com. McHugh Construction proudly supports the 100 Club of Chicago, and many McHugh employees have volunteered their time for the past decade. The 100 Club of Chicago provides financial support and scholarships to families of first responders who have lost their lives in the line of duty. For info on how you can help first responder families, visit 100clubchicago.org. Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit mygvn.com or call 877-695-1179 or online at mygvn.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful. Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on the early morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound I-57 traffic is heavy from the Tri-State Tollway to Sibley. Got some high water there on the left side. Farther north, it's slow from 103rd to the Bird. 20 minutes, I-80 to the Rhine. Bishop Ford, 32 minutes. Delays Dalton Avenue, 130th. There's an outbound crash. And Stony Island to the Bird. Then the Ryan. already running 24 minutes from 95th to downtown. Eden's okay. Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 22 as well. Eisenhower, 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Stevenson, 38 minutes, 355 to the drive. Traffic Service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Supporting victims of drunk, drug driving, underage drinking at no charge. Call their 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org, MADD.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, very latest with Kevin Snyder.
A breezy day today with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers. High 78, then a shower left over at a few spots early this evening. Otherwise, tonight, patchy clouds with a low 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
70 at O'Hare, the news, a service of the Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA is a national nonprofit offering more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports. Coaches, students, visit PCADevZone.org. 5:59 on AM 560, The Answer, and here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560. Beachgoers can expect more dangerous conditions on Lake Michigan today. A beach hazard statement is in effect. Storms and heavy rain to blame for causing major flooding problems around Chicagoland. Prosecutors will continue their case against one of the men charged in the 2013 murder of Chicago teen Hydea Pendleton today. Chicago Police Department plans to release video of the moments before the shooting death of a 15-year-old boy last week on the west side. White Sox, 8-5 winners over the Twins. Cubs open up a 2-game set against the Tigers in Detroit. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
They're at it again. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. A group tied to the Russian government is accused of creating websites made to look like conservative think tanks. More from Fox's Tanya J. Powers in New York.
Chris, Microsoft says 2 conservative groups, the Hudson Institute and the International Republican Institute, were targeted. This comes just weeks after a similar discovery by Microsoft-led Senator Claire McCaskill, a Democrat who's running for re-election in Missouri, to reveal that Russian hackers tried to infiltrate her Senate computer network. The hacking attempts are more like the ones that came before the 2016 election, but this time, more than helping one political party over another, Microsoft says it was focused on, quote, disrupting democracy. Chris.
Tanya, thanks. A former Nazi guard living in New York City is sent back to Germany.
The White House sending out a statement early Tuesday saying that Immigration and Customs Enforcement has deported Shaki Palij, a 95-year-old former Nazi labor camp guard. The White House says Palij lied about being a Nazi and has stayed in the U.S. since 1949. He had been leading a quiet life in Queens, New York until 2001, when he admitted to officials at the Justice Department that he trained with the Nazis. He was to be deported, but no other country would take him. The Trump administration says they negotiated with Germany to take him after he was kicked out of the U.S. Jill Nato, Fox News.
President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort's waiting for a verdict in his financial crimes trial in Virginia.
Jurors worked later into the evening than usual, but did not reach a verdict. Deliberations will resume this morning. Defense attorneys for Paul Manafort believe the lengthy deliberations are good for their client, and Manafort thinks it was a very good day.
Fox's Jared Halpern. State television in Iran has shown video of what's claimed to be a new all-Iranian-made fighter jet, with President Hassan Rouhani briefly sitting in the cockpit. It's not independently verified the plane was actually made there. Fox News, fair and balanced.
President Trump creating some Russia investigation news of his own this week when he
can talk about the weather, but the weather didn't pull the trigger.
If the Democrats get in, they're going to raise your taxes. You're going to have crime all over the place. You're going to have people pouring across the border.
We all still share the same objective of making sure that Iran doesn't get deliverable nuclear weapons.
What happens next?
That's a beauty.
Happens here. This is AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 60 months at $1,667 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com. This hourly segment is picked for you by Gobert's Pumpkin Patch, opening Friday, August 31st for apple picking.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy J. This morning is Sean from Elmwood Park, and
get a little more excited, will you? Jeez.
I want to talk about Don McGahn, the president's lawyer, going to meet with disgraced and discredited Bob Mueller, is how he is now being referred to by President Trump. In a tweet, disgraced and discredited Bob Mueller and his whole group of angry Democrat thugs spent over 30 hours with the White House counsel, only with my approval for the purposes of transparency. Anybody needing that much time when they know there's no Russian collusion is just someone looking for trouble. They are enjoying ruining people's lives and refuse to look at the real corruption on the Democrat side, the lies, the firings, the deleted emails, and so much more. Mueller's angry Dems are looking to impact the election. They are a national disgrace. Strong words from the president about special counsel Bob Mueller. I'm sure that'll have Democrats in a twist on the Hill. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. But he does have a point about McGahn and the New York Times spin on the McGahn meeting with Mueller. If he's leading this cover-up, if he's leading the effort to obstruct justice, then why would President Trump waive his executive privilege and allow McGahn to cooperate with Mueller by going and sitting down with him and asking or answering his questions? It's curious, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you know, here's there's a couple of, when did it go from testifying, he was answering question. My understanding is he was brought there to answer a specific question. So he stays there for 30 hours and answers those. When does that become testifying against Trump? I'm gray on the. How did that happen? It seems to me.
Who says it's testifying against Trump?
I
mean, the
New
York
way it's
Times
presented.
Yeah,
by
is
the New York
insinuating
Times.
that, right?
And by the hack losing his hair on Meet the Press, the Democrat show.
Chuck Todd.
Yeah, Chuck Todd and the rest of it. Did you happen to watch?
Yeah.
The Sunday interview with True or Not True, the way in which they contorted what Giuliani was saying. And now it's just a runaway. And if you know the minute you go on Drudge or as I log on to any of these sites, they're trying, no matter who speaks on behalf of what's happening, if they even slightly defend what's happening as far as the case, they all of a sudden are ridiculed and heckled. When the point of what Giuliani was saying is exactly right.
Well, the way he chose to defend the president or try to communicate his position was unhelpful. Truth is not truth is not the way I would have gone. But speaking of truth, well, let's talk about some truth. Mark Penn, writing in The Hill. Mark Penn, Hillary Clinton campaign consultant back in her first run in 2008. These are established facts. Here's some truth. Let's talk about Bruce Orr at Justice, who the president is also tweeting
The ladies'
about.
man, Bruce Orr?
Why is Bruce Orr still at Justice? Kim Strassel writing in the Journal over the weekend about what was Bruce Orr doing and completely disemboweling this Washington Post propaganda piece about Bruce Orr being some minor figure. Established facts, Mark Penn. Orr was a senior Justice Department official whose wife was employed by the research firm hired by Clinton and the Democratic Party to get dirt on Trump. This was not reported in any disclosure forms. Nellie Orr worked on the same fusion GPS project as Christopher Steele, who concocted the dossier, and Orr himself established a secret back channel with Steele, who had been dismissed for lying to the FBI. All apparently so that Steele was never far from learning about the investigation or having input into it. His text messages even refer to fear of firewalls being discovered.
So wait a minute.
Those are facts. Those are established facts. There's your truth.
And right now, we have a big case, and I am not defending the Engelbert Humperdinck Manafort, but he's accused of not disclosing. He didn't disclose certain accounts. He didn't disclose certain
payments. Well, he's accused of bank fraud and other matters.
But
yes.
How do you not disclose? See, because here's the thing. This Bruce Orr was sent to question his wife's boss. Turned out relaying information. And none of that was disclosed on documentation to the Department of Justice. Was he acting as an investigator or as a liaison?
Well, it's funny because Penn points out in the New York Times again, spinning conspiracy theories worthy of Alex Jones. He makes the point that New York Times is openly wondering why Bruce Orr would be on the list of someone to lose security clearance. The New York Times saying Orr has been, quote, at the center of a right-wing conspiracy theory, unquote, on how the Russia investigation began in the first place. This is not a conspiracy theory. As I said, this is what we know to be true at this point, and there's not been much, if any, that I'm aware of, dispute of what has been unearthed about Bruce Orr and his conduct, which is why. Again, in the Journal, Holman Jenkins writing, the press abets a cover-up. Holman Jenkins, not much of a conspiracy theorist, I got to tell you. So I hate to rain on the New York Times' parade of insinuation. The two biggest shoes to drop are yet to drop in the 2016 investigations. We still don't know the origins and backstory of the intercepted Russian intelligence document that was pivotal in Comey's ill-advised and possibly decisive interventions in the presidential race. What did fellow intelligence agencies such as the CIA tell the FBI about this intercept? What did they advise Mr. Comey to do? We don't know. The second shoe concerns the Steele dossier. Who were the alleged Russian sources behind it? What were their motives? Go back and read Mueller's indictment of the Russian hackers and the DNC email theft, writes Jenkins. It is not a remarkable account of hacking, but it is remarkable that it exists, with its detailed recreation of specific actions by specific Russian officials sitting at their laptops. Your government could use the same resource to get the bottom of an episode that has been had exponentially more influence on our political life than even Russians trafficking in DNC emails. Why not apply the same resources to unearthing this operation to create consternation in the American political process by the Russians to investigate our own spy agencies and get to the bottom of these unanswered questions, these shoes that have yet to drop that Jenkins is referencing.
You know what annoys me, Prof? We had to discover that Comey is is Mueller the godfather to Comey's kid, or is Comey the godfather to Mueller's kid? They go on vacation together. These two are interwoven.
They wrongly accuse somebody of planting anthrax together.
This Bruce Orr, they're all pals. And they all suck at their job. Mueller has been doing this for 2 years. This is the government. You can't come to a conclusion faster than this? What exactly are you doing? Because here's the reality. They already know what they want. They're trying to figure out and weaponize their power to get it. They're not interested in the truth. If they were interested in the truth, they would have gone off to where the real collusion lies, which is the Russian government front groups paying off the Clinton Foundation for Uranium One. That alone sickens me.
Well,
that was not to be even brought up.
Yeah, well, and that's sort of what he's referencing with the complete lack of intellectual and legal curiosity and everything that we know about the Clintons, from Peter Schweitzer's book to, the last 20 years of skullduggery. But here's the thing. As more information has come out about what DOJ senior officials like Orr and FBI did during the 2016 campaign, as these accusations have been leveled against Trump and associates, and then information continues to pour out, who has it tended to benefit? Whose story has it tended to corroborate? President Trump and the Trump team, for which no one can produce a shard of evidence of collusion, or all of these national treasures, to borrow John Brennanism, at CIA and Justice and FBI, who a year and a half, all that's been written, all that's been suggested, but what's actually been discovered, what's actually verifiable, what is truth in terms of the reality on the ground and the acts that were committed, who has attended to corroborate?
And this Bruce Orr thing, how could you be a Democrat and have a straight face? His wife, the handsome devil that she is, worked for the company at the center of the scandal. And it's not disclosed? I mean, are you that delusional as a Democrat that you can't rationalize the scam that was going on?
Well,
Scam.
and by the way, the disclosures are required of senior officials at Justice. You have to fill out these disclosure forms on an annual basis, as we've talked about with FBI agents as well. So, at minimum, there's that failure. And then, why do members of the press and the left, and I repeat myself, why do they feel the need to overreach? Why must the New York Times insinuate something they don't know? Why must they ignore something they do know, which is Trump's waiver of executive privilege, such that McCann could go speak with Mueller? Because they don't have anything to make their case out substantively. They cannot connect the dots with evidence. So they, as you were essentially suggesting, they connect them in their mind with what they'd like to see happen, how they'd like to see this play out. And it's a creative writing exercise. They're hoping they're engaged in foreshadowing. What they're not engaged in is reporting. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Craig in Mount Greenwood, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, for those out there, including you guys, that are so disgusted and with this whole thing with Mueller, that here's the really good news. Because as long as that guy's around, because with regard to Trump, he's corrupt to the core with the whole situation. But as long as he keeps doing this, it exposes more and more of these people, these deep state people on the left. If that thing was ended a long time ago, you wouldn't be drawing these people out and have the investigations and all the different things that are going on, even with things we don't even know about all these people, exposing all these Democrat people that are basically corrupt and that. So that's the good news.
Thanks for the call, Craig.
I think here's the problem. It has nothing to do with Trump. His incompetence, at the best incompetence, at the most outright skewed corrupt views on rules and who they apply to, it's irrelevant of Trump. This is who this guy is and who he has been since his career, since the anthrax case. They prosecute what they want to prosecute. They pick and choose. They are the overlords who apply the rules only to those they disagree with. And Bruce Orr and his handsome devil of a wife are proof to that. The idea that it took this scandal to bring out the collusion between a company and a government, right there, it's over with to me. It has nothing to do with Trump.
Mike in Crown Point.
Good morning, guys. Hey, you got to read Greg Jarrett's book. I just finished it last night. But my question and point was, in regards to the FISA court in general, if I recall correctly, that was created initially because of 9/11, The intelligence community said they needed a faster way to get warrants to spy on somebody. There might be a bomb threat imminent or something. Again, what does Carter Page have to do with some sort of imminent national threat?
Well,
why do you have to go to FISA court to begin with?
Well, just two things. One is FISA court was created during Carter 78, I believe. But yeah, I mean, we've had this discussion about are FISA courts even necessary, and
it's unconstitutional as far as I can see.
Not.
How do you not have a defense? And what this proves is a ham sandwich can be.
Well, the existence of the court is the question, and the existence of the court is it's a difficult case to make out that it's unconstitutional. But in terms of you getting these warrants, I mean that you're talking about a concern about public disclosure of surveillance of foreign agents. So I mean it's a sort of it's national security. It's ostensibly outward-looking, not inward-looking, and thus the domestic courts are less equipped to deal with the exigencies of surveilling foreign agents or foreign governments. That's the argument.
But in this case, the real collusion that happened, and the only collusion that's absolutely provable, is between the Clinton campaign and the Obama administration that misused their authority to surveil their opponent. Done. Over with. Look, I did that in 40 seconds. Mueller's taken 2 years to do nothing but blow through money to protect his friends, his kid's godfather. It's a joke. This is about government protecting not just its own self and corruption, but its preferred political view in that corruption.
Well, then, if you believe that, then you have to enjoy when President Trump decides to, speak about people by name, like you did over the weekend, John Brennan.
I've gotten tremendous response from having done that because security clearances are very important to me. Very, very important. And I've had a tremendous response for having done that. There's no silence. If anything, I'm giving him a bigger voice. Many people don't even know who he is, and now he has a bigger voice, and that's okay with me because I like taking on voices like that. I've never respected him. I've never had a lot of respect. And Senator Burr said it best. If you knew anything, why didn't you report it when you were before all of these committees, including their committee? So he had a chance to report. He never did. This was just came up lately, and it's a disgusting thing, frankly. Look, I say it again. That whole situation is a rigged witch hunt. It's a totally rigged deal. They should be looking at the other side. They should be looking at all the people that got fired by them. All of the people that got fired, they should be looking at Bruce Orr and his wife Nellie for dealing with, by the way, indirectly Russians. They should be looking at Steele. They should be looking at all these FBI guys who got fired and demoted. It's a really weird, it's not us. It is a rigged witch hunt. I've said it for a long time.
I'll tell you what, say whatever you want about Trump and whatever you think about Trump. The one thing that he has done, or one of the things he's done, because he's done more than one thing, is expose that the emperors without clothes don't just reside on Capitol Hill. They're in the intelligence agencies and the fourth branch of government, the bureaucracy as well.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
All right, I'll say his economic policy is a Keynesian joke, but we'll save that for the next segment. Today, mostly cloudy with a breezy, with a couple. Did you write this? Mostly cloudy and breezy. There you go. With a couple of showers, high 78. Tonight, a shower in spots early this evening. Otherwise, patchy clouds. Tomorrow, delightful with sunshine and a few clouds, high 78. Tomorrow night, low is 60. Thursday, beautiful and sunshine. Jim Telemonte, tell me where the dummy is. Where's the dummy?
Well, Sean, good morning. Good morning. Oh, there's no shortage of them on Chicago roads. But right now in Waukegan, we have some high water. So you're a dummy if you go through it. This is 120 at Lewis, so the road is open. Just proceed with caution. Eden's inbound, just a little sluggish approaching the junction. Kennedy inbound. It's about a 3-minute delay. Cumberland to Central. Outbound, the same from Austin to Sayre. Inbound Eisenhower delay start at Wolf. 44 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 31. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive up on 35. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge. High water near Sibley on the left side. Bishop 4, 22 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State heavy in the Reagan Tollway and North Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
There's always that time of day when the sun creates havoc at the office.
This is ridiculous.
You're literally blinded by the light. Can't see a thing on your computer monitor and feel like you're baking in an oven. Make your office or storefront distraction-free with custom shades from 1-800-4BLINDS. You'll keep your customers comfortable, protect furnishings and decor from fading, and have happy, productive employees that don't have to stop in the middle of a project because of the glare. 1-800-4BLINDS can get the job done quickly with their local in-house installation crew. You'll save money on window treatments that not only look great, but will also help you shrink utility bills with special heat-reducing shades that can trap heat between the window and shade. They also offer custom painted solar shades with your logo or photo image printed directly on the shade. Get the sun out of your eyes. Call 1-800-4BLINDS direct for a consultation today. 773-447-5448 or visit 1-800-4BLINDSchicago.com. That's 1-800-4BLINDSchicago.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Live from Chicago, it's Saturday Night Live, The Experience. For the first time ever, get an inside look at the making of SNL. Over 500 artifacts direct from the show. Be a part of Wayne's World, Weekend Update, and so much more. Experience all it takes to put the show together. Now at the Museum of Broadcast Communications at 360 North State Street in Chicago. For tickets, visit museum.tv.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
When it comes to maintaining our vehicles, we all know to change the oil. But did you know cleaning the fuel system is just as important? Even high-quality fuel can leave behind carbon deposits, robbing your engine of power and fuel economy. Gumout has a solution. Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner. Regain contains polyetheramine, a nitrogen-based detergent that safely removes deposits to help restore engine performance. Get a bottle of Regain today for just $4.94 at your local Walmart. Gumout. Science in, perform it out.
Are you behind in your mortgage, facing foreclosure, being given the runaround on a loan modification application by some bank or servicer? Well, you're not alone, but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've put together a team to help distressed homeowners like you. Give us a call. We give everyone who's eligible a free consultation. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
AM 560, The Answer.
The truth is out there, Rudy Giuliani and Bettina Rodriguez Aguilera, Sean.
Yeah.
She's running as a Republican for retiring Ileana Ros-Lehtinen seat in Florida. This is a seat, by the way, Democrats hope to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
She was endorsed by the Miami Herald, calling Miss Aguilera a strong candidate in the race with plausible conservative ideas. But that's not all. Miss Aguilera, about 10 years ago, also said in a television interview that she boarded a spaceship occupied by aliens when she was 7.
Maybe it was hippies in a van.
I went in, there were some round seats that were there and some quartz rocks that controlled the ship, not like airplanes. She said in a separate interview with the Miami Herald that she joins the, quote, majority of Americans who believe that there must be intelligent life in the billions of planets and galaxies in the universe. The Herald, in endorsing her, called her an unusual candidate.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Prof.
Does belief in the extraterrestrials disqualify you from Congress?
Well, first of all, it'd be ridiculous to do so. And if you remember, didn't Hillary Clinton have a financer? Wasn't it one of the Rockefellers? It was one of those trust fund baby money that was big on Area 51.
Yeah,
and
Adam
wanted her
the area that Adam
disclose
Schiff
it.
represents, yes.
First of all, I have to tell you, Prof, I don't like the Area 51 stuff. I think there are some answers that government has that it doesn't want to give us.
Well, that's true, but I don't know. The topic is the point.
I'm not willing to say,
yeah,
it would explain a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. I mostly just wanted to play the X-Files theme music.
Sure.
I didn't really want to hear your crackpot theories.
I think it's like that movie where they're among us, where
hers.
like it's Tom Cruise, Donald Trump, Oprah Winfrey, aliens.
Yeah, yeah. What was that?
What was it called? Men in Black. Men in Black explains everything.
Elvis
Presley.
What was that Nick Cage, Meg Ryan movie where he's an angel and they fall in love?
Well, you're talking angels. We're talking different things. I'm talking aliens.
Well, that's true, but I mean, we're just talking about this, the supernatural.
Shapeshifters. Plus, I love movies, and I like the idea that they could be among us.
Yeah.
Mike Scott's a little freaky, smart.
Mike
bald.
Scott's not a little freaky. He's a little freaked out by what you're saying. There's a difference, and now. If he's collected himself,
would explain transgenders too.
We'll throw it to Mike for the headlines.
We've called the Space Force on you, Sean.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm the crackpot. They want a Space Force.
If Bettina Rodriguez Aguilera gets elected, she could chair that committee.
Yeah.
There you go.
69 degrees. Skies are gray this morning. We had powerful storms overnight and problems in the area with stormwater runoff and heavy rain. Metro lines were temporarily stopped. Pearl Jam concert delayed, hundreds of flights canceled, Downers Grove deluged last night. The U.S. deporting the last known Nazi labor guard in this country. The White House says ICE agents arrested 35-year-old Yaki Pauli yesterday at his home in Queens, New York. He's being deported to Germany. The legal fight over the online 3D printable gun designs continues today. Seattle judge issued a temporary halt on the Texas-based defense distributed from posting 3D printable gun designs online July 31st. Now there are 19 states and the District of Columbia asking a Seattle judge to block the State Department from allowing files to be posted until the case is fully argued in court. A Colorado man is being formally charged in the deaths of his pregnant wife, Shannon Watts, and their 2 daughters.
3 counts of murder in the first degree after deliberation. 1 count naming Shanann Watts. 1 count naming Bella. 1 count naming Celeste.
Chris Watts also faces charges of unlawful termination of a pregnancy and tampering with a body. Shanann and the 2 daughters were reported missing last week. Their bodies discovered on property of an oil company where Watts worked. Walmart and health insurance giant Anthem are apparently partnering to provide seniors with more access to over-the-counter drugs. Starting in January, seniors who are enrolled at Anthem's Medicare Advantage plans will be able to use their insurance to pay for some of the over-counter medications that qualify at Walmart. Here in Chicago, beachgoers can expect more dangerous conditions. In fact, beaches in Illinois and Indiana are off limits until tomorrow because of high waves and dangerous currents. A man faces 80 years in prison after admitting to raping 3 women in Joliet. Will County judge sentenced Miguel Luna yesterday. He pleaded guilty in May to the criminal sexual assault of 3 women along the I&M Canal State Trail in 2015 and 2016. Luna was in the country illegally and was ordered deported in 2012. White Sox skipper Rick Renteria feeling better after being hospitalized. The 56-year-old spent the night in the hospital after feeling lightheaded right before last night's game against the Twins in Minnesota. That game went the White Sox way, 8-5 victors over Minnesota in that makeup game. Now the White Sox are back home to begin a 2-game set tonight against the Twinkies, and the Southsiders sending top pitching prospect Michael Kopech to the mound in his Major League debut. Cubs open up a set against the Tigers tonight. The news, a service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, their grief is unique, but you are not alone. MADD is here to help. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MADD-HELP, or madd.org. 634, check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the new religion in America.
All the isms, social activism, Marxism, socialism, humanism, environmentalism, feminism, they're all isms. They are all religions. They fill the vacuum that past beliefs had. The obvious one being, for most Americans, Christianity.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Customers who switch to Progressive can save an average of $668. Call or click today and find out if we could save you hundreds on your car insurance.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's good news. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Qualifying for this program will resolve your tax problem, end all collections, and possibly reduce your back taxes by up to 90%. If you are facing wage garnishments, liens, bank levies, audits, or payroll taxes, it's not too late. Your circumstances may qualify you for this special program, protecting your savings and your assets. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's no need to worry anymore. Call the hotline at Victory Tax Solutions to see if you qualify and potentially save thousands. For this free information, call 800-813-1105. 800-813-1105. That's 800-813-1105.
It is 6:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound Edensburg, traffic getting a little bit heavy now, coming off the Tri-State and approaching the Edens. The Edens itself is heavy, getting close to the junction. You're getting about a 5-minute delay. 24 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound fine at 19. Kennedy inbound, slow Cumberland to Montrose and Division to the Burn Circle. 28 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 27. Inbound Eisenhower delay start at Wolf Road. It's 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 37 from Manheim, outbound 31 to 390. Now Stevenson delay start at Weber Road. 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 33 from the Tri-State. Outbound 37 minutes to 355. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Watch out, there's high water near Sibley, the left lane. Bishop 4, 22 minutes, 80-94 to the Rhine. Northbound Tri-State, slow 95th to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, in pockets from Reagan to Lawrence. Traffic is a service of Compassion International. Just 5 quarters a day. And sponsor a child with Compassion International. Pocket change to you. It's life-changing for a child in need. Be part of the change. Compassion.com/radio. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, cloudy, breezy, couple of showers, high 78. We'll have a shower in spots early this evening, otherwise patchy clouds and a low of 60. Currently 70 degrees. Your next news update is at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Sean from Elmwood Park in for Amy J this morning. And over the weekend, Sean, we talked about it yesterday with Chicago Tribune's John Cass, 60 shot, 6 dead. Another weekend of carnage has come and gone in Chicago. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson addressed the press on the topic yesterday with a customary response for a customary weekend in Chicago.
But the truth is, and I know you all are tired of hearing me say it, but as long as we fail to create repercussions for carrying and using illegal guns, or more importantly, hold repeat violent offenders accountable for their actions, we're simply going to continue to have these discussions on Monday mornings.
He added that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. We're not splitting the atom. If people don't give us the information we need and our judicial partners don't hold them accountable, would you stop if that's what you wanted to do? You know, it's ridiculous.
Well, if he was running for mayor, he could do the rinse and repeat. We just need more funds. So
Right.
Those are the two arguments.
Guns and funds.
Guns and funds. How's that for a T-shirt?
Uh,
Let's ask the economics professor.
For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by His Eminence, Walter Williams, nationally syndicated columnist, professor of economics for many moons at George Mason University, one of the great intellects in academia of our time, really. Professor Williams, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Well, good morning, and thank you for inviting me.
You, in response to the violence over Lollapalooza weekend here, where there were 13 or 14 murdered and more than 70 shot, that galvanized you to write a piece about Chicago violence. And your review of the violence endemic to Chicago was what?
Well, I think that it's tragic, and matter of fact, it's just Chicago that has the large amount, but there's a huge murder and gunshots, shooting in many of our major cities, and given the status quo, I'm not very optimistic. Just what can be done about it? In many cases, the police they feel hamstrung. That is, if they make an arrest or if they shoot somebody, they're charged or they're getting a lot of flack from a number of people, from politicians and various organizations, and then as you in your lead in you point out that the courts are not helping very much at all. You know, the arrest and when people are arrested, they go to jail for a little bit at a time and they come back out. And I understand part of the tragedy in Chicago is that less than 85% of all the shootings, no one is charged. That is, the clearance rate is very, very low in Chicago. So that tells these criminals that, well, hell, they can do anything they want and get away with it.
Well, so in Chicago, 80% plus of the victims are African-American men. 80% plus of those arrested for violent crimes of this sort are African-American men. Why in the black neighborhoods in Chicago and not elsewhere? At least not to that effect, to that level.
Well, it's black neighborhoods everywhere. You go to Baltimore or you go to Philadelphia or St. Louis, you find the same phenomena. And the part of the tragedy of this is that people tend to think that it's always been this way, and that's entirely not the case. I'm 82 years old, and when I grew up in the North Philadelphia, the slums of North Philadelphia, and people did not lock their doors, and very often people did not lock their doors at all, and some of them left them unlocked until 11 o'clock at night when the last person came in. We didn't go to bed with the sounds of gunshots, and I think that a large part of the problem is it's kind of cultural. That is what has happened to the black family. For example, right now, I think that somewhere around 30% of black kids are born in are raised in two-parent households. The illegitimacy rate is 75%, and this is again it's entirely new. In 1938, the illegitimacy rate among blacks was 11%, and that among whites was 3%. And in many cities, up to 85% of black kids lived in two-parent families. And so there's been a dramatic social and cultural change. And to get back to where we were, I don't know what can be done.
Well, Professor, I have to tell you, I'm the product of a one-parent house. My father was not around, so my mother raised me. I kind of have a tendency to believe, and you're a professor of economics, I think we're in the third generation of a society that has told a certain group of people, you've stolen their dignity by pretending to give them dignity and welfare. I think this is the consequences of telling people you cannot participate in a society, so therefore we're going to give you a life of charity. And what happens, I think, through the human person from being told that is they start to believe it. And this is the product of them not having any value of their own life. Therefore, it's easy to have no value for your life.
I think you're making a very, very important point. And then in addition to that, in the neighborhood where I grew up in North Philadelphia, the kids today do not have the opportunities that I had to get out. That is, there are various laws that cut off the bottom rungs of the economic ladder, such as the minimum wage law and various labor laws that stifle economic opportunity. If the kids wanted to take advantage of it, there are various laws that stifle it, and so it's very, very complex. But I think another issue is that we have taken the power away from police to protect us. That is, policemen are just afraid. They sit in their cars and they if they see something suspicious, they just ignore it. They say, well, why should I risk my job and perhaps risk my life and my reputation for something that I really don't have to go do, and so I'll just keep on driving by.
So going back to what you were saying, though, too, about not having the same opportunities, that's sort of a remarkable statement, isn't it, that you lived through Jim Crow, and you're saying that young black men in particular don't have the same opportunities to escape the south or west sides of Chicago that you did, the slums of Philly.
And another very important thing is that the bit of education that black kids receive is grossly fraudulent. That is, the average black kid who's in the 12th grade, he can read and write and compute at the level of a white 6th or 7th grader. And so a kid graduates from high school, and he has a fraudulent degree. I mean, he can't pass a civil service exam. Many times employers will not hire such a person. And then various labor laws such as minimum wage law and other labor restrictions just exacerbates the guy's position.
Well, and here's the thing. So as we started out talking funds and guns, the political class here and the Praetorian Guard of the status quo, all they want to talk about is more investments in the schools and more investments in the neighborhoods, and this neighborhood's a food desert. And then, of course, getting guns off the streets as if that's something that's any more plausible than the government reconstituting the family. And so what do you say to those who are shutting down expressways in Chicago over the last couple of weeks in protest for more money and guns off the streets?
Well, more money for education is not going to do a darn thing. More money for all kinds of programs are not going to do any darn thing. That is, since 1965, since the war on poverty started, that is, federal, state, and local governments have contributed $20 trillion. That's the cost of the anti-poverty programs, and we don't have much to show for it. People have been arguing for more educational resources, and what do we have to show for it? That is something more fundamental has to be done.
You know, Professor, I think of it this way, and this is how I think, and I'm a lifelong Chicago, Illinoisan. We are serfdom. This is where the road leads. The corruption. This is the socialist policies, where they take you. The rinse and the repeat excuses. The Keynesian funding tax benefits to your chosen businesses and people. So I look at it this way. Here's the upside of Chicago. Although we have all these murders every year, we're still half of what we had in the 70s. So there's the upside. And the scariest thing for when you're around your other friends who don't know about Chicago, the scariest thing a guy in Chicago's daughter can say to him is, "I'm going downtown tonight, Dad." That's the scariest thing that happens.
Right, and I think that only one thing. There are a number. I would wager that there most of the community where all this gunfire and mayhem is going on, I would say that the majority of the citizens are law-abiding people, but they are terrorized by the criminals, and so I guess for many people, the best thing they can do is to find a way to get out.
He is Professor Walter Williams, Professor of Economics at George Mason University, nationally syndicated columnist. Professor Williams, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
And thank you.
And he joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
All right. It's gray and hazy today, mostly cloudy and breezy with a couple of showers, high of 78. Tonight, showers in spots early this evening. Otherwise, it's going to be cloudy. You won't care. Low 60. Tomorrow, it's delightful. It's sunshine. It's one of those 60 days a year in Chicago where it's not terrible. It's going to be 78 with a low tomorrow night at 60. Thursday, beautiful and sunshine. We get 2 in a row. Maybe Prof can get out there and get his score below 98. Now, Telemonte. Tell us where the traffic is not where you're biting the steering wheel.
All right, sure. Too bad we don't have 60 nice days of traffic in Chicago. Northbound I-55 is problematic with a real jam. From Weber Road to past Lamont Road, there's a crash there. Farther north, it's slow Harlem to Kedzie. We're looking at about 50 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. That's once you get to 355. Outbound, 37 minutes out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Eden's 24 minutes, Lake Cook Junction up on 19. Kennedy, 28 minutes, O'Hare to downtown up on 27. Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to the Circle. 37 from Manheim, up on 35 to 390. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 22 minutes from I-80 to the Merge. 57 has some high water at Sibley in the left lane. Northbound Tri-State, slow in pockets between 95th and the Hinsdale Oasis, and between the Reagan Tollway and Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial, heavy from I-55 to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The fourth quarter looking good for small retailers. Venezuela taking emergency measures to avoid further economic disaster. Those stories next.
Patriot Mobile is the only conservative cell phone company in the nation that fights for your values. They partner with over 15 conservative organizations like Gun Owners of America, the Heritage Foundation, the Susan B. Anthony List, and more to promote conservative change. Patriot Mobile takes a portion of your bill and contributes it back to these organizations at no extra cost to you. Support conservative causes that you believe in and switch to Patriot Mobile's nationwide super fast, super reliable network. Unlimited talk and text plans start at $20 a month. Plus, you can save on select iPhones starting at only $4 a month. At this great value, one size doesn't have to fit all. Pick one that's right for you and for your budget. They also have great deals on Android phones. Hurry and join Patriot Mobile. This offer is valid while supplies last. Make the switch today by visiting or calling 1-800-A-PATRIOT or patriotmobile.com. That's patriotmobile.com or 1-800-A-PATRIOT. Start making conservative change happen every time you use your cell phone.
The latest retail sales from July pointing to a strong fourth quarter for small business. The National Retail Federation saying the positive numbers include gains of between 3 and 6% on specialty stores, stores featuring electronics and home furnishings. Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro has launched drastic reforms trying to turn around his nation's economic spiral. One economist predicting Venezuela's inflation rate will hit 1,000,000% later this year. Maduro issuing a new currency and boosting the minimum wage by more than 3,000%. Banks closed Monday in anticipation of customers wanting to withdraw all of their money and flee the country. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
The rapid evolution of technology and industrial robotic automation systems offers a multitude of solutions that give manufacturers a competitive advantage. From ergonomics, quality control, and the need to meet increased production goals while improving the lives of everybody in the factory floor, industrial robotic automation can mean increased profitability and higher quality jobs. Matrix Industrial Automation has built a reputation as an industry leader in developing, building, and installing a wide range of turnkey robotic automation systems. Manufacturers big and small, local and worldwide, depend on Matrix to deliver the most optimal and robust industrial automation systems with improved ROI in mind. Nearly 2 decades of experience and hundreds of installed systems is why Matrix Industrial Automation, headquartered in Bartlett, Illinois, are the industrial automation experts. For information or to schedule a free automation consultation, visit matrixindustrialautomation.com or call 847-841-8260. That's matrixindustrialautomation.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Success happens with an affordable full-time IT staff from Turnkey IT. Just listen.
We're a contracting architecture firm with 50 employees in 2 states. We hosted our own email and file and print servers on a local area network, and the systems were always down more than they were up. Very frustrating. Turnkey IT migrated our email to Office 365 and simplified our network using additional cloud-based systems and cool advanced technologies. All our company's local data is backed up and replicated. Security measures are in place to avoid dangerous threats online, and we have a really nice voice over IP phone system. Remote users can make phone calls and appear like they're in the office when they're at a construction site. With reliable systems, our employees are more productive, and that's transformed the company's bottom line. Thank you, Turnkey IT.
Your business can have great success too, with a full-time IT staff starting at $7.95 a month from Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Here's 1 week's worth of leftist intellectual offerings. Former CIA Director John Brennan, whose value as an intel officer closely rivals Chuck Barris's values as CIA assassin, argued the revocation of his ability to leak classified information was some sort of unconstitutional abridgment of his free speech rights. Brennan was barking on MSNBC and opining in the New York Times that he is being silenced. Elizabeth Warren proposed to save capitalism by nationalizing private property. 350 newspapers colluded to publish the same anti-Trump ransom letter to their readers to prove what well-adjusted, independent-minded journalists they are. New York Governor Andy Cuomo announced that America will be great for the first time if and only if he's either elected president or bumps his brother Chris in CNN's primetime lineup. And of all the cake shops in all the world, a trans person walked into Masterpiece Cake Shop in Lakewood, Colorado because, SCOTUS ruling notwithstanding, the left and their government commissars will make Jack Phillips and every other Christian in America they can target choose between faith and business. The left is impervious to irony, unbounded by hypocrisy, undaunted by legal restraint, unyielding winning in their quest for dominion over every aspect of your life, and that's just in the last week.
The following is a paid political announcement.
We need strong borders to keep America safe. That's why President Trump is fighting to build the wall. But Senator Joe Donnelly's votes would have made us less safe. In Congress, Donnelly claimed he was, quote, 100% opposed to amnesty, but then he changed his position. In the Senate, Donnelly joined liberals like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and voted to give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants, even illegal immigrants who had committed serious crimes, including domestic violence and child abuse. Donnelly told us he was against amnesty, but then he voted for amnesty. Call Senator Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Tell him to fight for full border security funding in S3109, Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2019. Amnesty won't keep America safe. Fully securing our border will. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we were talking Chicago violence with His Eminence, George Mason University Econ Professor Walter Williams. Take a couple calls here. Dennis in Crystal Lake, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Sean. Hey, Dan, I work across the street from where I don't know if you heard about the two kids, 117, 116, that were found on 130th.
Yeah, the other day.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, basically, there was one news truck out there. This is when they just found him, too. There was one news truck out there. You would think that it was a dead dog, maybe. And no protests about gun violence. Nobody was to be found to bring attention to two males, probably black, that were killed by black gang members and dumped there.
Well, okay, thanks for the call, Dennis. To be fair, that story was covered throughout the Chicago press corps, and including here with Mike Scott. And what happens is in the 21st century is you have pool cameras where one camera will be dispatched, but a bunch of stations will be able to get the
Like
feed.
the movie Nightcrawler. Love that movie.
Well, that's an independent kind
All
of
right, just go with
street
it.
journalist, yeah.
We've got to argue about everything.
Big Jake Gyllenhaal fan, I know. Yeah. Robert in Oak Brook, quickly, please.
Yeah, 2005, I got arrested for $5 worth of crack cocaine in the city of Chicago. They threw me in Cook County Jail with a $250,000 bond. Mm-hmm. I could prove this because I was there. In my cell were two guys. One guy shot up a neighborhood. He got a $100,000 bond. The other guy was in there for manslaughter. He had a $150,000 bond. Mm-hmm. So this revolving door continues.
Thanks for the call, Robert. Sorry, I hate to cut you off. I'd love to do more street stories with Robert, so call back.
Busted for crack living in Oak Brook.
Okay.
Listening to conservative talk radio, only in America, baby.
Perfect segue for Mike Scott.
Storms causing problems around Chicagoland. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
A Colorado man says he killed his wife because she killed their kids. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Chris Watts is accused of all three murders. The story now from Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
Watts is due in court today. He admits to killing his wife, Shannon, but he says he is not responsible for the deaths of their two girls. He says his wife killed them after learning that he wanted a separation. Frank Ruchek is Shannon's father, who's thanked friends and neighbors for organizing a candlelight vigil for her.
And keep the prayers coming for our family. Thank you very much.
Watts is facing 3 first-degree murder charges. He's being held without bail. Chris.
Tanya, Microsoft says a hacking group linked to the Russian government made websites to look like they belong to 2 conservative think tanks that promote democracy. The company says there's no evidence anybody actually clicked on the fake links. The Trump administration has a plan to weaken more federal environmental rules.
The acting administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Andrew Wheeler, signed a plan to weaken regulation of coal-fired power plants. The move comes just before President Trump heads to Charleston in the coal-producing state of West Virginia. The New York Times reports that at a rally, the president's expected to propose new rules that would let states decide whether or not they want to curb emissions from coal plants. Meanwhile, environmental groups like the Sierra Club call coal deadly and outdated. The Union for Concerned Scientists says when coal is burned, it releases airborne health hazards like lead and mercury. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Some prison inmates across the country are going on a 2-week strike starting today to protest what organizers call modern-day slavery, working for pennies per hour. The strike's called for by an advocacy group called Jailhouse Lawyers Speak. Participating inmates plan to not eat, skip work assignments, and hold peaceful sit-ins. Ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street, Dow futures are up 57 points. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Gray skies, rain showers in Chicago this early morning. 68 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Storms, heavy rain to blame for causing problems all over Chicagoland. Metro lines jammed because of the heavy downpours overnight. Flights delayed at O'Hare. A deluge in Downers Grove and many other spots caused high standing water. And there were problems on some of the area roadways overnight as well. We'll get the latest with Jim Talamonte in just a moment. Meantime, beachgoers today can expect more dangerous conditions. The beach hazard statement is in effect at Illinois and Indiana beaches until tomorrow. Prosecutors continue their case today against one of the men charged in the 2013 murder of Chicago teen Hydea Pendleton. While on the witness stand yesterday, the teen's mother described the phone call she received after her daughter was shot at a Southside park.
And then I asked if I could talk to her, and the officer said, no, she's already in the back of the ambulance, and that she was alive and well.
Prosecutors are expected to play a recorded video confession today made by defendant Mikhail Ward after resting their case against Kenneth Williams yesterday. A man faces 80 years in prison after admitting to raping 3 women in Joliet. Miguel Luna was sentenced by a Will County judge. He pled guilty in May. Luna is in the country illegally and was ordered deported by immigration authorities in 2012. Illinois has a new law that gives FOID card holders a grace period as they wait for the state to finalize their paperwork. Governor Rauner signed that law last week, which gives gun owners a 2-month window to use their expired FOID cards while the state police process new ones. But the law is too late for more than 10,000 FOID card holders who saw their cards expire in June. White Sox over the Twins 8-5. Sox and Twins again later on tonight. Sox are home, and they'll bring up pitching prospect Michael Kopech to make his major league debut. Cubs open a set tonight against the Tigers in Detroit. The news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 7:04, check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
President Trump creating some Russia investigation news of his own this week when he...
You can talk about the weather, but the weather didn't pull the trigger.
If the Democrats get in, they're going to raise your taxes. You're going to have crime all over the place. You're going to have people pouring across the border.
We all still share the same objective of making sure that Iran doesn't get deliverable nuclear weapons.
What happens next?
That's a beauty.
Happens here. This is AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great lineup of Ford SUVs. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Not available on Expedition. For all offers, take new retail delivery from authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
Are you happy with what's looking back at you in the mirror? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we'd like to help you with that smile.
Whether you're looking to fix 1 or 2 teeth or a whole smile makeover, we can take care of all your dental needs. We have a beautiful modern facility and a great staff. And most importantly, we love what we do. That's what sets us apart from other offices. Let's face it, a dental office is not everyone's favorite place. Whether you're 2 or 102, we make it fun and enjoyable. We perform all types of dentistry as well. Fillings, root canals, crowns, extractions, dentures, implants. We do most everything right in our office. And for you denture wearers, we have a full in-house denture lab and can perform repairs and relines while you wait. We can also talk about adding implants so your denture will snap into place or become screw retained. This is the closest option to natural teeth. We are conveniently located in Gurnee at the corner of Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. So make today the day you give us a call. 847-244-4000. That's 847-244-4000. Or visit us on the web at gurneedds.com. We look forward to seeing you, and remember, second opinions are always free. Excellence in dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
7:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Flight boards at O'Hare and Midway show very few delays today after the many cancellations yesterday, and most of your trains are running on schedule right now. On the roads, there is some high water on inbound I-57 near Sibley, causing a backup in that area, but the overall travel time too bad. It's about 22 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 22 minutes. From 80-94 to the Ryan, and the Ryan's 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eden's Spur has roadwork delays in both directions. Eden's itself, 24 minutes, Lake Hook Junction outbound 23. Kennedy inbound delays from Canfield, 40 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 25 in the Express. Outbound, it's 20 minutes to Montrose and 42 to the airport. About Eisenhower. Jammed Manheim to the Burn Circle, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 38. Stevenson, well, we've got a delay from Weber to past Lamont Road due to a crash. And from Central to Kensington is 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 37. Bryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State Heavy, 21 to Bradley. Northbound, 87th to Ogden. And from the Reagan toward Lawrence, northbound Veterans Memorial jammed. I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt. Southbound 53 has delays northwest Highway to Higgins. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, running M 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly cloudy and breezy with a couple of showers, high 78. A shower in spots early this evening, otherwise tonight, patchy clouds with a low 60. Sunshine and a few clouds for tomorrow, high 78. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
70 at O'Hare, next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning.
Stuttered there a
Sean
little bit,
from
huh?
Elmwood Park.
I caught you stuttering. You sounded like you were Paul Vallis asking a question on economics.
I was deciding whether or not I was going to introduce you.
Oh,
I
you were
think
gonna do
I
it?
chose wrong.
Yeah, you put the lipstick away from John Cass yesterday, that's for sure.
So here's the situation. I don't know how to break it to you.
Oh, boy. More good news?
Hey, runner, surrender Republicans?
You're coming in third.
No. You know how, remember back in the day, you're so excited to vote for and donate to Barack Obama for Senate and President? Remember those days? Wasn't it fun? We're going to come together. You're so enlightened, folding in with the champagne socialists. Somebody who speaks socialism in mellifluous tunes is okay by you. Huh? Right? Oh, yeah. Well, he's not going to go ahead and return the favor because the Democratic Party doesn't suffer from the Runner Republican Party's infirmity of enemies inside the perimeter. The video released by the former president yesterday on behalf of Spalding.
I am proud to endorse J.B. Pritzker to be the next governor of my home state of Illinois. And let me tell you why. It's simple. J.B. gets things done.
Sure
when
he
folks
does.
said Illinois couldn't be a leader in creating high-tech jobs, JB thought we could. And he started a tech incubator that's helped entrepreneurs create hundreds of new companies and more than 7,000 good jobs.
Yeah.
When JB saw that too many of our school kids were going hungry, he made it a personal mission to change that. And working with Illinois nonprofits,
gave them their leftovers. Here's, you know how that goes.
President of Clean the Plate Club, JB.
How about that? You sad? The enemies inside the perimeter who've controlled the Republican Party in the state for the last 4 decades, including Ronner. You sad that you lost your guy, Barack Obama, hoping he'd flip the way that you flip to the other side? Yeah.
Well, how's he going to argue against him? See, Rauner's response, Justin, I don't know if you can get that. Rauner's response was just not pathetic to that commercial. He gives a pathetic response. He cannot argue J.B. Pritzker's points because he feels the same way. This is the old adage, you can't out-communist a socialist. You can't give away more than a socialist. The Democrat socialist will run to the Democrat. He's not going to cross over.
No. But you don't understand. If Pritzker gets elected, when Pritzker gets elected, because as I've been saying this entire year, for those who voted for Ron or wouldn't listen to me in advance of March when we had an opportunity to change the trajectory of this cycle and this party in this state, and narrowly missed that opportunity thanks to the majority of Republican primary voters in this state who continue to invest their money with Madoff, even after they've been told it's a Ponzi scheme. It's remarkable. The problem you have making the I'm not as bad as the other guy argument is sort of what Sean is saying. Pick a topic. Pick an issue. And you got a guy with no record in Spalding, and you got a guy with a record who has no credibility on pick an issue.
That's the real Me Too movement, is an Illinois Republican.
Census Bureau analysis out. Top 20 cities in terms of property tax burden of nearly 600 in the U.S. that were surveyed. It's by smartasset.com. Let's see. You got Evanston ranked number 7 in the country. Naperville 8, Arlington Heights 9, Schaumburg 13, Skokie 14, Palatine 15, Bolingbrook 16. It's a lot of Illinois hamlets in the top 20 in terms of property tax burden in the country. Of course, the highest property tax burden in the state. And we seem to like this.
And now do a study on how many homes, the for sale homes in those neighborhoods, along with the other high-valued neighborhoods, because it is a spike that almost mirrors the stock market. When you drive through these neighborhoods, the amount of homes for sale today versus 7 years ago is astonishing.
And when you do the other side's policy work for them, things so far left they wouldn't even do when they had control of the governorship as well as the General Assembly with supermajorities, then you know what you do? You turn it all over back to them, including the supermajorities. This is Kristen McQuarrie writing in the Chicago Tribune yesterday. It's unclear whether Illinois Republicans are fully prepared for the purge in Springfield. It's going to be a bloodbath. Not only is first-term Republican Governor Bruce Rauner projected to lose, and badly, I would add, to Pritzker, Republican candidates for the General Assembly from Rockford to Murfreesboro stand on increasingly rocky footing. And it's not from Rockford to Murfreesboro, yes, but I mean specifically, and again, I know the numbers. I'm in this arena, so I know of what I speak and have for a long time. Not a lot of people listen to me, and that's their choice. And then it comes to pass, and that's what it'll be. But in the suburbs, ho Nelly. What Kristen McQuarrie said when she said it's unclear if Illinois Republicans are fully prepared for the purge, it's going to be a bloodbath. She mentions places like Glen Ellen and Lombard, where Peter Breen is a state representative, thoughtful, fiscal conservative, actual fiscal conservative, not the 99% of pretend fiscal conservatives in the General Assembly. John Cabela in Rockford. Tom Morrison in Palatine, one of our best, most consistent conservative, truly conservative, who understands what conservatism is, legislators. They are all in dogfights, as are Congressman Roscom and Hultgren, like we've mentioned on the show before.
Now, I know a lot of the Illinois Republicans are in on the ghetto casinos called gaming, the video poker, and I know they've got the foothold of the reefer joints, the dispensaries. But is there enough time for these ones that are on the rocks to get invested? I mean, do they have enough time to get in on the scam? Or
right.
Do we really have to worry about these guys? I want to make sure they do okay.
They don't want to get in on the scam. That's the difference. There's a handful. There's a couple of dozen legislators in both Republican caucuses in the General Assembly that are not in on the scam and don't want in on the scam, and frankly have no visions of being there for the rest of their adult life. But when you destroy from within, it's difficult to pick up the pieces, even in what are ostensibly safe areas. And what McQueary is pointing out, and she's right to do so, is that there are no safe areas here. And that's in spite of the fact that everybody says they want to see Madigan go. The Democrats, too. That's in spite of that, right? Everybody wants to see Madigan go. Everybody's sick of the status quo here. And you are going to see, at present, it portends a tripling down on that.
How many Republicans are hiring Madigan's kid as the lobbyist? That's how you know if they want him to go or not. You think?
He's not a lobbyist. He's a mesro. He does insurance.
Oh, there's somebody there. There's somebody attached to him with a lobbying firm. I book it.
Well, Steve in Willowbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. What about J.B. Pritzker and the rest of the family and the fiasco at Superior Bank where millions were lost by people?
That's
investors?
old news. That's old news, Steve. What are you, crazy?
Yeah, but no one's talking about it, man. No
Right.
one's talking about it. You know, he's talking about he's going to fix the state. What do you guys think about it?
You had a failed mob banker whose bank collapsed 30 days before the election and got a $400 million bailout that almost became a United States senator here, and that was in the Tea Party revolution of 2010.
That's right. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It didn't matter then. It doesn't matter now.
Thanks for the call, Steve. I mean, you're right about Superior Bank, but the virulent strain of Stockholm Syndrome that afflicts the electorate in this state, and really Chicago Metro we're talking, some pockets around the state, but really we're talking Chicago Metro. I mean, I refuse to be saved. I mean, that should be on our license plates. I refuse to be saved.
Yeah. I think you should just go with junk bond on the license plates.
The license plate could be a junk bond.
It is.
Chip in St. Charles.
Did I hear Barack Obama say that Illinois was his home state?
Yes.
I find that very interesting in that the whole time he was president, he never came here, did he? All the people that were shot and murdered in Chicago, and I never heard the guy.
No, he came here a few
concerned about it.
He came here a few times for fundraisers, and he would express concern from like at the Peninsula Hotel.
But his donors from here received benefits from Mount High.
Thanks for the call, Chip.
So the system worked. There's no need to get worried. All his donors from here did very well in contracts, and new businesses opened up, in money flowing to Illinois. I mean, you've seen the companies. They're all the same ones. They did great.
I get it. And I guess the kleptocracy, the kleptocratic culture, it permeates everywhere. But you hear from enough people that are not in on the fix, right, that you would think that after, okay, I'm going to take a gambit on Ronner in 2014 because I want something different than the retreads that he was running against. I can understand that. I didn't vote for him in the primary because I vote for conservatives. But I can understand that. He's conservative enough. Let's give him a flyer. Okay. In March of this year, and you run around calling yourself a conservative of any sort, fiscal or otherwise?
But who really
the
voted?
Leadership of the Republican Party that you essentially continue to support by default, if not actively in this state?
You and I interpret the outcome of that race differently. And here's how I interpret it. The ones you're speaking of, not in on the scam, those are the ones that did vote for Ginny Ives. You underestimate the amount of Republicans in on the scam.
I'm not underestimating
the infrastructure of corruption is unbelievable.
I'm not underestimating them.
Come on, the Durkins, the Bradys.
Well, I know.
These are
the
big
leadership.
names.
That's what I'm saying.
Jobs,
the leadership of the party has been a mirror image of the Democrats with a few exceptions for 4 decades. And so this is the end of the road. This is where it leads. And you want to come back? The people that I hear from, including the C-suite types in Chicago who funded Barack Obama and then Ronner, then Rahm. You should see the crossover. We're going to publish a story about this. You should see the crossover with Rahm and Ronner donors. And I'm not just talking about their fellow wine club members.
Oh, come on.
Right.
Of course not, because those are the bankers that are making the money on the failure.
But
they love the failure.
But it's also people that are insulated from needing to make money anymore. It's something more cultural than just the money.
They like the power?
But
they feel they should be the ones running society, even though it's failing. They refuse to admit it. Well, gee, the only step up is Washington now.
And all that's left is to say, after the largest tax increase in Illinois history, permanent, that was passed with a third of the House Republican caucus, that was given the green light to go ahead and do it, and that feckless simp of a leader, Durkin, given the green light to do it by Ronner playing Pontius Pilate. You're going to come back to me now and say, oh, but the fat guy is going to raise your taxes?
No.
The highest property tax burden in the nation, destroying home equity, people fleeing the state, can't get out fast enough. And you're going to talk to me about, oh, your taxes are going to go up? Oh, he's not going to do anything on property taxes, or he's not going to do anything on this? He's just another guy who wants to wear the sash for 4 years, just like Ronner did. Another Trojan billionaire.
Yeah. Well, what that body needs is a definite sash. Could really point out his cleavage.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
You can always laugh, Prof. You got to cheer up a little bit. Here's the good news. We survived. Today, mostly cloudy and breezy with a couple of showers. Besides, with all that time off, you could maybe work on that snap hook you got going. Tonight, a shower in spots this evening. Otherwise, it's going to be cloudy, low of 60. Tomorrow, delightful, wonderful sunshine. It's going to be great. High of 78. Tomorrow, 60. Thursday, beautiful with sunshine. High 81. Now, Telemonte. Now we're getting into the real thick of things. These are when the lazy ones are up, and they're out on the road jamming things up. Where is it?
You're right, Sean. The southbound tri-state's really brutal, rougher than it's been in a long time at this hour, with delays from 21 to Milwaukee Avenue down to Bradley Road. Farther south, getting heavy, too, around Irving Park and the Toll Plaza. Northbound stop and go 87th to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan all the way to Lawrence due to the ongoing work. Northbound Veterans Memorial also really heavy from I-55 to Roosevelt. Southbound 53 has construction delays ran to Higgins. Aiden's some more routine, 23 minutes like Cook to Montrose up on 25. Kennedy, 45 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, but it takes longer in the express lanes. Eisenhower, it's 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte.
You want me to do the live read?
The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
See, now you want me to do this live read because you know I'm paying these ridiculous fees. But the school year is underway. If your kids haven't started your school yet, they will in the next few days. And maybe you're already feeling a little uneasy about your child's school or maybe a teacher. Public schools are changing. And if you aren't happy with what your son or daughter is learning in the classroom or on the playground or the school bus, then maybe it's time to consider a private school. Privateschools.com. It's an easy half-price schools.com has partnered with private schools around the Chicagoland and offered tuition vouchers.
Send your kid to private school. Don't let them become Sean from Elmwood Park who cannot read a sheet.
I don't have my bifocals on, number one. And the other thing is I'm paying full tuition always. You mean there's some thing out there where I could have paid half?
Yeah.
I just have to move my kid around? I don't listen to the commercials. I'm normally on hold. Then prepare to send
dumbest St. Joe's from Westchester grad ever.
No, that's a big statement. Don't wait another day. School is starting. Don't settle for public school that isn't right for you and your child. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Supporting veterans is our passion. That's why we support Veteran Roasters, a Chicago coffee roaster that hires homeless and chronically unemployed veterans. If you'd like to help create jobs for homeless veterans, visit veteranroasters.com and purchase a 12-ounce bag of coffee roasted and ground by once homeless and unemployed veterans. The coffee's delicious, and the profits are reinvested in hiring additional homeless veterans. Use promo code Team Hochberg to save 50% off the second bag you purchase. If you're a veteran securing a VA loan and would like to work with a local lender who supports veterans, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproofing. To tell us how you built it, go to 560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at incomestore.com. That's incomestore.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Sean from Elmwood Park in for Amy. We were talking about Ronner and Pritzker and the race, such as it is, coming up in November. You're voting for...
I'm proud to say I didn't buy his nonsense the first time. So I may go for the country music singer.
Sam McCann?
Cash Jackson.
Oh, Cash Jackson, the Libertarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a
No,
country music
to be honest, my goal is, and I've talked to you, my goal is to be permanently in Florida by that time, but, who knows.
By November?
Yeah.
Boy, you're on the clock.
Yeah, well,
does your family know?
That's where I earn my living. I don't sell real estate in good conscience in Illinois. I can't. I'm a fiduciary.
No.
When people trust me with their money, I have to put it where I believe, and that's in Florida.
Well, you have to sell people who have property here. You have to sell their property to get them out from
I deal
underneath
mainly
it.
with investors, guys who own 3 flats and 5 flats. You don't want to. You're going to own here? Please.
All right, enough
Plus
of your shameless proselytizing. Coming up at 7:37, we're going to talk to Noah Rothman from Commentary Magazine about Trump's new nickname for Bob Mueller and Andrew Cuomo's desire to see America be great with, and the way you do that is put Andrew Cuomo in the White House. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Gray skies. We've had some rain showers this morning, 70 degrees. A notorious Nazi war criminal who lived in the U.S. nearly 70 years being deported to Germany after he was arrested in New York City. ICE agents took into custody Yaki Pauli at his home in Queens yesterday. He's 95. President Trump is worried that anything he tells the special counsel in the Russia investigation could be made to look like he's lying. Our reporter Mark Mayfield is in Washington.
In an interview with Reuters, Trump said he's concerned that if he's interviewed under oath, his words will be compared with testimony from others. He expressed fear that any difference would be used to bring perjury charges. He did not say whether he'll eventually sit down with special counsel Robert Mueller. Mueller is looking into Russian meddling in the 2016 election, as well as if there was any collusion with the Trump campaign. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
A woman in South Carolina is dead after an apparent alligator attacked the victim's mother. Julia Meza spoke with reporters.
I cannot make any sense of what's happened. None at all. None at all, because she would never go near an alligator. She would never irritate an alligator.
The Beaufort County Sheriff's Office says the woman was walking near a lagoon on Hilton Head Island when she was attacked yesterday morning and pulled under by a gator, reportedly to be about 8 feet in length. Storms and heavy rain to blame for causing major problems through the evening and into the overnight hours around Chicagoland. Several metro lines were temporarily suspended. Service was stopped last night because of storms. Showers delayed the Pearl Jam concert. Hundreds of flights were canceled. There was a deluge in Downers Grove, high standing water in the south suburbs, especially along I-80 and I-57. Meantime, beachgoers can expect more dangerous conditions along the lakefront today. A beach hazard statement is in effect. Wave heights could top 8 feet, and strong rip currents are expected. Chicago Police Department is planning to release the video of the moments before the shooting death of a 15-year-old boy last week on the west side. Authorities say Stephen Rosenthal shot himself after he was briefly chased by officers. Now, the teen's family is disputing claims that he committed suicide. White Sox score 4 in the second en route to an 8-5 victory over the Twins in a makeup game in Minnesota. Sox and Twins are back on the south side tonight. Top pitching prospect Michael Kopech will take the mound. Cubs open up a set against the Tigers, and the Bears pass rusher Leonard Floyd, recovering from hand surgery. The news service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager lays out the conservative mindset.
My position and the position of every conservative I know is we don't care. You could be transgender, you could be cisgender, you could be brother gender, you could be anything you want. We only care about your values. We don't have a position on what you are. Conservatives have a position on what you stand for.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
The power to save is in your hands. Snapshot from Progressive rewards your safe driving with discounts. Find out more at progressive.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad, just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them, and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is 7:35. Let's get an update on the ride to work And in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike Kennedy. Inbound delays are from Canfield to the Burn Circle. It's 45 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 30 minutes from Montrose, but 32 in the express lane. Outbound, 35 minutes to Montrose, an hour and 4 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 25. Spurs heavy both ways. Eisenhower, it's improved, 46 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 42. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. There was a crash past Lamont Road. The delay there starts at Weber. Outbound 37 minutes to 355. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Tri-State jammed. 21 to Bradley. Northbound 87 to Hinsdale Oasis from the Reagan Floyd Lawrence. But Adams Tollway stop and go now lead to the Tri-State. The northbound Veterans Memorial, I-55 to Roosevelt. Traffic service of Ashley Home Store. Ashley Home Store's Labor Day sale starts now. For limited time, save up to 35% or receive 0% interest for 6 years. No minimum purchase, only at America's #1 furniture and mattress sale. Shop and save today at Ashley Home Store. This is home. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, cloudy, breezy, couple of showers today, high 78. Currently 70. Next news coming up at 8, and Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is powered by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping the lights on through summer storms.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J this morning, Sean from Elmwood Park. And Sean, Andrew Cuomo stepped in it before another New Yorker did over the weekend. That it would be the truth is not truth. But before that, Andrew Cuomo's America was never that great. Was the internet meme du jour. That was last week, as well as had him the subject of ridicule from the president and others as he's trying to shine up his left-wing credentials and with his plans for 2020 run.
Well, he's got to get over Fidel Castro's death. He's been really, broken up for a while now.
Our friend Noah Rothman over at Commentary Magazine penned a piece in response to Andrew Cuomo's statement, why America is great, and also made an interesting comparison to another slogan that we're familiar with. Noah Rothman, Commentary Magazine, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So you sort of make a connection between America was never that great and President Trump's Make America Great Again. What's the parallel?
Well, in a sense, they both essentially concede that America is not all that great in its current condition. And for Andrew Cuomo, he prefaced his, attack essentially on the greatness of America by saying, as essentially as long as mankind discriminates and is a flawed, creature and has hate in its heart for other people, and that is reflected in the United States and perhaps government too, then America will never be great. And that thusly America will never be great ever. You cannot erase these flaws from the human soul. For Donald Trump, America isn't that great when he's not president or when Barack Obama is pursuing policies that he disagrees with, and I disagree with. And these reflect two fundamental misunderstandings, I think, of what constitutes American greatness. America was great from day one. In the conception of its founding, in the conception of the Constitution as it was designed by the framers, and its capacity for infinite renewal and the extension of liberties to all peoples everywhere. These were radical sentiments at the time. The notion, as Jonah Goldberg has said in his book In Suicide of the West, the notion that all men are created equal is the pinnacle achievement of a paradigmatic approach to human equality. You cannot progress from that point.
What are you, some kind of purist, Noah? Noah, are you a purist?
To amend that sentiment is to go backwards. I'm sorry?
Are you a purist? You sound like a purist to me. Are you one of those guys that love liberty and don't want to be part of a collectivist upheaval revolution?
I'm generally very skeptical of collectivism in any form. Yeah, you got me.
Well, and I suppose the difference is that between the left and the right, removing Cuomo and Trump from the equation, their various complications, is sort of the Buckleyism of the left's penchant for wanting to immanentize the eschaton, create heaven on earth, and so that's what the left continues to do. And conservatives, I think, are suggesting, number one, it's not possible, so let's not try. And the most efficient and moral way to organize a society is through free minds and free markets.
Well, Cynthia Nixon, Andrew Cuomo's primary opponent, had a pretty cutting line. She said, Andrew Cuomo is just trying to sound like a progressive. He just doesn't know what one sounds like. And I think that's sort of an admission against interest. Presumably a progressive in the mold of Cynthia Nixon would more adroitly explain why America is not and has never been great.
But no,
that's not something you really want to advertise.
Aren't the Trump Republicans starting to sound a little bit like that too? See, here's my problem with it. It sounds to me as of late, Republicans aren't pushing back against this Washington-driven America. They just want to have a form of a conservative welfare state rather than rejecting the welfare state. And I see Trumponomics very similar to Keynesianism.
Oh, absolutely, and I agree with you, especially in the campaign phase. Donald Trump used to deploy the phrase "prime the pump" when he said that he wanted stimulative government spending in order to create private sector jobs. That is definitionally Keynesianism. The problem is that he was addressing, Keynesianism is designed to address a crisis. When there's a liquidity crisis, when there's a crunch, when there's not enough capital and not enough lending going on, you put a lot of government capital in the marketplace and it stimulates lending. That's the theory behind it. There was no crisis Donald Trump was supposedly addressing, except in the minds of his supporters. His supporters believed that their conditions constituted a crisis, and they wanted to hear somebody address that as a crisis. And I think you're dead on that sounds a lot more to me like progressivism in the mold of, say, Cynthia Nixon or, say, Teddy Roosevelt. The Republican Party was a progressive party before it was a conservative party. But you don't hear conservatives now addressing any sort of an agenda. They're not saying what we want to do with power. All they're saying is we just want that guy's agenda not to happen. They talk about Nancy Pelosi. They talk about single-payer health care. They talk about a federal jobs guarantee. They talk about judges stopping whatever liberals want to do. They don't talk about what they want to do, and that's defeatism.
Well, and it seems like there's some challenge there too. I mean, it's partly because it seems like Republicans want to push off what they said they would do in some respects. For example, even President Trump seeming to agree to pushing off border wall funding and that whole matter of anything resembling comprehensive border security reform until after the midterms, and given whatever the landscape will be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can really fall for that at this point. They're pretty open with it. People like Steve Bannon and the political people inside this White House are pretty open about the extent to which they are fielding immigration as the issue they want to run on to energize Republicans on the Trump base, because tax cuts aren't doing it. Unfortunately, which I think is kind of a tragedy. It's the only legislative achievement of this term, so you might as well run on it. You go to war with the army you got. But Donald Trump has had the opportunity to have the wall several times in his presidency. The most recent being an omnibus bill, which a lot of Republicans didn't support, but enough would have if the president had gotten behind it. But he declined to. Similarly, in the very early part of his term, Paul Ryan approached Donald Trump with what I think is bad policy, but a border adjustment tax, which would have essentially been a tax on Mexican goods, and that would have built the wall, and Mexico would have paid for it, essentially. I mean, it was, I think, bad policy, but marginally bad policy, and it would have given him a victory. And to his credit, the administration balked at it. So, I mean, if he really wanted the wall, he could have compromised on that position on a couple of occasions. And most recently, I think it was DACA, actually, a DACA compromise that would have given citizenship and not reduced immigration quotas, but citizenship to DACA eligible citizens in exchange for border security funding to the tune of $25 billion, whatever they need. And that, too, was too much because the Stephen Miller wing of the White House wanted to get dramatic reductions on illegal immigration. So we've been negotiating over this for some time, and it's always about something else, never about the wall. The wall could have been built a long time ago. It's about immigration generally, and not border security.
So the approach then is to take the tax cut achievement, marry that to the judicial appointment achievement, first Gorsuch and in a couple of weeks Kavanaugh ostensibly, make that enough of a record to run on, and then play the negative partisanship game, meaning which, in these divisive times might make sense. I'm not as bad as they are. You dislike me less than you dislike them, which is the same thing the Democrats are playing.
Yeah, well, Democrats, I think, are running more on a positive agenda. It's not one that I especially support, but they are talking about things they want to do in office. They never will get the opportunity as long as they only have a House. But they are talking about an agenda about expanding minimum wage, national minimum wage rates. The Democratic Socialist agenda is what it is. We've all been picking that apart, but you don't see a lot of Democrats arguing against it. They're sort of increasing their membership by not ruling out the prospect of a federal jobs guarantee, for forgiveness of student loan debt, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they're talking about things they want to do. I can't tell you what the Republican agenda is for the 116th Congress. I don't know what it is. So, I haven't heard anybody articulate it.
So give me a little bit of hope, because here's the thing. It seems to me we're just arguing about the speed limit on the road to serfdom, not whether to get on or off of it anymore. And aside from resurrecting Madison to primary Trump, what's the hope for people who do believe in the Enlightenment?
Well, I think it's a pretty small segment of people who are actually aware of the various Enlightenments and the arguments against them. It's sort of an intellectual pursuit, the Protestant Enlightenment versus the French Catholic Enlightenment, and the arguments for and against them, which is very much a conservative phenomenon. You have people on the right who are pretty much arguing for or against the values of the late 18th century that were enshrined in the Constitution, and Lockean economics and Adam Smith's invisible hand and all that. That sort of stuff is baked into our assumptions in our country, but I don't think a lot of people actually know much about the actual authors of the actual concepts, and they don't have to, by the way. I mean, that's the virtue of this republic, is that pluralism means you have the freedom and the right to disengage from politics. That's not a right you have in Australia or Uruguay, which are places that The Economist ranks as more democratic than America. You are compelled to engage in politics by law. In this country, you don't have that obligation. You can disengage, and I think that's a freedom that we take for granted. It's one that we will not possess in a more autocratic society.
Well,
but
yeah.
as far as the critical mass of people who are aware that the Enlightenment values that define this country in the late 18th century are under threat, I mean, you could probably count those on two or three hands. It's a very small contingent of people who are engaged in intellectual exercises.
Yeah, it turns out, though, that that free, as all freedoms do, comes with responsibility, and the choice of disengaging brings to mind the old saw that just because you don't take an interest in politics doesn't mean politics won't take an interest in you. Noah Rothman, associate editor for Commentary Magazine, his most recent piece, Why America is Great. Noah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And he joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
See, that's my favorite part of doing the show is the interviews, and then when I could see when Proft is mad when I interrupt him or take his question, it gets very hot under the collar. Today, mostly cloudy and breezy.
Next time you take my question will be the first time you take my question.
Mostly cloudy and breezy with a couple of showers, high 78. Tonight, shower in spots. I'm not going to say it's going to be cloudy. It's nighttime. You can't tell. Tomorrow, delightful and sunshine with a few clouds, high around 78. Tomorrow night, 60. Thursday, beautiful sunshine. Great. Everything's great. Saturday's going to suck again. Now, Jim Telemonte, I'm going to guess it's going to be one of those expressways where there's 16 pieces of equipment and 3 guys pretending to work. That's where the jam is.
Road work delays. Oh, you want them, you got them, Sean, no doubt. Eden Spur, slow in both directions. That's been a daily thing right now. Nothing unusual there with the ongoing construction. It's heavy both ways. Southbound 53 is all gummed up thanks to construction. The delays right now are from Rand Road to Higgins. Northbound Veterans Memorial jammed, I-55 to Roosevelt. Northbound Tri-State heavy 87th to Hinsdale Oasis Dan. And the Reagan Toy to Lawrence where there's ongoing work. Southbound really heavy 21 to Bradley. It's about Adams Tollway stop and go lead to the Tri-State. The The Edens itself is 22 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose, but outbound a much heavier 38 minutes. Kennedy, 57 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 42 from Montrose, 24 in the express lanes. They're now much better. Outbound 58 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower looking at 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound, it's 52. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to the drive. And the Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints in the spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-694-2640 now. That's 800-694-2640 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-694-2640 to learn more. 800-694-2640. That's 800-694-2640. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
Discover Westmont, a community nestled in the heart of DuPage County. With top-notch schools, beautiful affordable housing, and excellent dining and shopping, Westmont makes a great place to live, work, and play. Choose Westmont. Discover how your business can flourish and grow with a wonderful central location providing rapid access to Chicago's key expressways, airports, and many family-friendly amenities. Add quick transportation on the Burlington train line, and that means simple and easy travel for everyone. Westmont is committed to working collaboratively with you to facilitate inquiries worries about your family or business relocation. We'll help your company navigate to Westmont for a great experience. Call Larry Forsberg at Westmont Economic Development at 630-824-9337. That's 630-824-9337 to find out about incentives that can help you plan your development, relocation, or expansion. Discover all Westmont has to offer. For more information, visit ChooseWestmont.com. That's ChooseWestmont.com.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, Mueller, CPA.com.
Good news. You are not stuck with your healthcare plan. Really. You have a choice, and it's a great one. It's called MediShare, and if you've heard about it and wondered what exactly it is, it's a way that people share their healthcare bills, and these are people who have a common faith, who want to be part of something beautiful that not only meets their healthcare needs, but the needs of others too. And it's people who love to save money, big time. MediShare members typically save $500 a month per family on their healthcare costs. That is a life changer for people. So this could be for you. Maybe it's what you've been looking for, a way to pay healthcare bills that's not only very smart financially, but it's even profound. MediShare is a nonprofit with 400,000 members nationwide who pray for and share with each other. So yes, you're not stuck. There's another way, and it could save you a lot. Find out more. Call 855-BIBLE-11. That's 855-BIBLE-11. 855-BIBLE-11.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Sean from Elmwood Park in for Amy J. Let's take a call. Jay in the south suburbs here on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I'm completely befuddled and speechless after your last guest. I don't even know his last name. I know it's Noah. He
Noah
needs to go back
Rothman.
and build
Right.
He needs to go build a boat or something.
Okay.
He has no idea what the agenda is on the right. Now, granted, the agenda on the right is squarely being made up by the president, and he has very little support on it. But it's simple. It's everything that the left is proposing in the exact opposite. We
I
don't need
disagree.
socialism. What's that?
I completely disagree with you. It's everything the left is promising, only well managed. You look at his economic policy and Obama's. Where does it differ?
Tax cuts, deregulation, two areas.
Hidden. They're hidden.
How about rolling back all of the crazy regulations and all that and just getting out of people's way? How about that, Sean?
That's a speech. That's a talking point.
No,
the tariff
actually,
takes place of all
it's
of
not.
Listen,
Actually, it's not.
The tariff takes place of all of that.
Jay, we got to jump, but thanks for the call. Appreciate it. We'll pick up this conversation after we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Storms cause major problems around Chicagoland. The mother of Hadia Pendleton speaks at that teen's murder trial. State admits to $1 billion budget hole, and the White Sox top the Twins while the Cubs get set for the Tigers. Cloudy, breezy day ahead. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
A former Nazi prison camp guard is kicked out of the United States. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. There have been protests outside his home in Queens, New York, and now he's being sent to Germany.
The White House issuing a statement early today that Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents deported 95-year-old Yaki Pauli. Pauli hid his Nazi connections when he immigrated in 1949, but admitted in 2003 that he trained at a Nazi camp in Poland. A judge revoked his citizenship then and ordered him deported, but no country would take him. The White House says Pauli played a role in the deaths of 6,000 Jews at Travniki concentration camp. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
In about a half hour, jurors at the Paul Manafort trial get back to work. Here's John Decker.
Jury deliberations are now into a fourth day in the tax evasion and bank fraud trial of former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. A jury of 6 men and 6 women are combing through an 18-count indictment against Manafort, who faces more than 300 years in prison if found guilty on all counts. Prosecutors entered 388 exhibits into evidence for the jury to review, one reason why deliberations may be taking so long to reach a unanimous verdict on all counts. Manafort's attorneys didn't call witnesses in his defense, claiming the prosecution failed to meet its burden of proof. Chris?
Fox's John Decker at the White House. Another report of Russian hacking.
Microsoft said that it removed 6 internet domains registered by a Russian hacking group with ties to the Russian government that tried to spoof legitimate websites. 2 of them are political conservative think tanks, one being the International Republican Institute, the other is the Hudson Institute, as well as spoofing these U.S. Senate websites. They were designed to look legitimate.
That's Fox Business Network's Tracy Carrasco. 2 sources have just told Fox the body of a University of Iowa student has been found. Molly Tibbetts disappeared about a month ago. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Gray skies, 70 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Storms, heavy rain to blame for causing serious problems throughout Chicagoland overnight. Meantime, beachgoers will expect more dangerous conditions today along the Lake Michigan shorefront. National Weather Service says waves could reach 8 feet. Rip currents are expected. Chicago police say a man died overnight when he tumbled onto CTA tracks on the city's north side near the Fullerton stop. The man, who has not yet been identified, fell off that CTA platform onto the tracks. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A prosecutor says several Chicago police officers will be granted immunity from prosecution to compel them to testify at the murder trial of a former colleague accused of fatally shooting a black teen. It wasn't clear Monday night which officers would be called to testify at the trial of Jason Van Dyke. 3 of the officers who were present the night in 2014 when Van Dyke fatally shot 17-year-old Laquan McDonald are accused of falsifying their accounts of the shooting. Prosecutors continue their case later today against one of the men charged in the 2013 murder of Chicago teen Hydea Pendleton. While on the witness stand yesterday, the teen's mother described the phone call she received after her daughter was shot.
And I asked if I could talk to her, and the officer said, no, she's already in the back of the ambulance, and that she was alive and well.
Prosecutors rested their case against Kenneth Williams yesterday. Chicago sports, White Sox over the Twins in a makeup game 8-5, and they have a 2-game set on the south side against the Twins beginning this evening. Cubs are in Detroit, and Bears pass rusher Leonard Floyd, recovering from hand surgery. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, there's new speculation that Apple could be buying or partnering with Tesla. Fortune says Apple's interested in autonomous car technology, and Tesla could use Apple's cash. A year ago, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said Apple doesn't want to have that conversation. However, since Tesla's stock plunged, it could be more attractive to Apple. Smucker's business was stronger than expected in the recent quarter as sales picked up. Smucker's also includes Folgers and Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Kohl's quarter improved. Its sales were stronger, and Kohl's is predicting this will be a better year than forecast. The Bojangles chicken chain has closed 10 locations. The Charlotte Observer says the company's also removing 4 menu items. The Dow was up 89 yesterday. NASDAQ added 4. S&P gained 7. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity, The Sean Hannity Show.
I love the fact we can now say American made, American jobs, American manufacturing, American products, made in America. Well, Hannity, that is very myopic of you. I'm not going to ever apologize for wanting the people in this country to have the most opportunity first.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joel Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 60 months at $1,667 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
It is 8:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy has heavy traffic from Foster to the Burns Circle at 57 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 42 from Montrose. Much quicker in the Express now, 24 minutes. Outbound, it's 58 minutes to the airport. Edens, you get 22 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound, 38. Plus the Spur has roadwork delays in both directions. Eisenhower, 48 minutes, 390 to downtown, 32 from Manheim. Outbound, 52 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 39. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. Tri-State southbound jammed at 21 to Bradley Road. Northbound, 95th to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence, Adams Tollway heavy lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway from the Aurora Toll to Washington. Northbound Veterans Memorial, I-55 to Roosevelt. Southbound 53 ran to Higgins. Traffic service, unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education, drop out to help their family put food on the table. See how far your support can go at unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A breezy day today with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers. High 78, then a shower left over at a few spots early this evening. Otherwise, tonight, patchy clouds with a low 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
70 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Sean from Elmwood Park sitting in for Amy this week on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by AM Woodland Outdoor Design. Design local, build local. They did build this. amwoodland.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Sean from Elmwood Park in for Amy J this morning, and we're going to continue a discussion we started last hour after our interview with Noel Rothman from Commentary about Trump administration accomplishments. The suggestion was made that there's the tax cuts and obviously the judicial nominations, particularly for the Supreme Court, I would say generally, including the federal bench, but particularly the Supreme Court with Gorsuch first and then Kavanaugh. But there are those who focus in on the things about the Trump administration they think are Keynesian or neo-mercantilist. I've been critical of some of those policies. We'll take your calls. Where do you think Trump is a year and a half in advance of the midterm elections? Is there a record to run on? Do you see a policy vision from this administration and this party to which the president is affiliated? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Jay from the South Suburbs suggested the Trump agenda is very simple. All of the big government invasive gambits of the left, he wants to do the opposite, and that's all you need to understand. Is that good enough for you? Take your calls.
And here's my position. It's deceptive, and I don't think we're dim-witted enough to believe the deception. Spending and borrowing is taxation. revenue to the government in the form of tax receipts have never been higher.
Yeah, but that's a function of growth.
Perhaps.
I mean, you suggested last hour there's no difference between Obama's economic policies and Trump's, and that's just factually untrue.
It's a manipulation of the progressive tax system in the deception of presumed cuts. When you give a middle-class person a cut, so he thinks, but you inflate the cost of products he needs as staples in his basic consumption, you've hidden the tax. You understand what I'm saying to you? You've hidden the tax. You make him feel as if he doesn't have it in a payroll tax, but yet you've inflated the cost of his basic necessities. You've lied to him. That's what his economic policy is. It's deceptive taxation.
You're suggesting, what's the inflation rate?
Well, how can you tell? I say the inflation rate is 5% if you did the calculation the old way. But if you want to use Enron's math that gives us a GDP growth without focusing on the spending in the growth, well, then you could say whatever you want it to be.
So your suggestion is that the tax cuts adjusted for the Sean Thompson adjusted inflation rate is a net zero.
What's the money creation since Trump?
Well,
so we want to factor that in?
You want to have a conversation about monetary policy and this unknown that we're facing after a decade of quantitative easing. That's a separate and distinct discussion from Trump, because number one, that is truly inherited. Even you could argue for Obama, it was partially inherited, much less for Trump.
Absolutely.
Number one, number two, he doesn't control the Fed. So
I'm not.
So stay within the purview of the president's authority.
And I am staying within that purview. Okay, so let's give a real simple example, because it's the easiest and it's the fastest and it's the truest of what's happened. The steel tariffs go on, right? What's the first thing the steel companies, American steel companies, do? It's the first thing they do.
I don't know, open Granite City and start hiring?
They raise the price.
Yeah.
Aside from the fixed guaranteed loans, let's forget that about opening all this stuff. The first thing they did is it raised the price 1% lower than the tariff price. That is a tax.
I understand.
On you.
I understand a tariff is a tax.
Okay.
I've been critical of Trump's trade policy from his campaigning on neo-mercantilist protectionism to his acting in furtherance of it. I want to invest hope, and I do invest hope in Larry Kudlow that this is medium term to get to a lower tariff environment. The president has made pronouncements in that direction, although I admit it runs counter to 25 years of rhetoric from Donald Trump on the issue of trade. He doesn't understand trade deficits in terms of their importance, which is to say they're not important. I am completely opposed to protectionist trade policies. I can't be any more explicit about that. But my entire assessment of Trump presidency, particularly Trump presidency in reflection on the alternative, that's not the sum. That's not the sum total of it, and it's not a credible argument for a conservative to make that the sum total of it.
Did he save me $1 on Obamacare? Did he save us $1?
Well, again, here you have him moving in the direction of telling Congress, send Obamacare repeal and replace to my desk and I will sign it. And John McCain prevented that from happening.
Okay, but is his daughter walking around right now talking about mandatory time off for parents?
She is, but that has not been acted upon. So what the president's daughter may have to say on policy, I don't really care. What's interesting to me and relevant to me is what those in charge of the House and Senate and the Republican Party and the president do on policy.
Have the subsidies.
So Ivanka's pronouncements are irrelevant.
Have the subsidies to the healthcare provider, scam artist, bookies stopped? Has $1 of those backdoor subsidies stopped?
One of the things he has done is extend short-term health insurance, which is a way to continue slow rolling the unwind of Obamacare in spite of the lack of congressional action on the topic. I mean, look, on tax policy, on deregulation, to some extent, even on his principled realist approach to international affairs, I think he has, I will just speak for myself, he's exceeded my expectations. On his Twitter and communicating, he has lived down to my expectations. But to suggest that that only the tax cuts, or in your position, not even the tax cuts, and all we have is a slow walking Maduro is just silliness. It is fact free.
When you have embraced an omnibus bill that has dwarfed all spending prior, and not only did you accept it, you want to continue to expand it in blind, and you wrap it in a flag, it's the military, rather than a revamping of the military spending, or even an eye on the military spending.
Omnibus spending omnibus spending bill was a mistake.
He is taxing more,
he is
spending more, and he is borrowing more than anybody before him.
Taxing more.
Yes,
How's that?
Taxing. The revenue to the government alone, I understand you're saying it's growth. It is outpacing the imaginary growth. I then contend that the GDP you're pointing to as growth is due to the spending. It is the Keynesian economic plan of spending equaling growth, and it's a lie. There is no real growth, and I show you in commercial.
This is like Orwellian newspeak. Cutting taxes is raising taxes.
He's not. Listen, he deceived taxation through calling it tariffs. He's deceived.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about permanent structural tax rate reductions.
He did nothing permanent. This is temporary at best.
And you're talking about temporary targeted taxes on foreign goods.
What's temporary? What's temporary is his relief of what he says he changed the income tax code. That's the only thing that's temporary. And that'll be long gone very quickly.
So the tariffs are permanent, but the income tax cuts are temporary.
When's the last time our government has pulled back a tariff? We had over 12,000 when he took office. To Trump's defense, the failed system of
tariffs have been imposed and rolled back with regularity over the course of the country's history. What are you talking about?
Here's the reality. He's George Bush third term. That's what he is. And you just like it because it comes with a different soundbite.
Paul on the South Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, if we are stuck with the trade policies from the 40s through the 90s up until NAFTA, and NAFTA, when it was created, was 20, 30 years out of date, and those policies were to help our allies get a hand up on their economies, how do we get them to the table now to negotiate new trade policies without the threat of tariffs or imposing tariffs?
Well, the way that I would suggest that you do it, thanks for the call, Paul, and maybe Sean and I will agree here, is you don't need to get them to the table. You are preemptively... What? I'm sorry?
I was agreeing with you. Go ahead.
If you're preemptively free trade, that is to the benefit of your consumers, your nationals, and so you put your foreign competitors, if you will, at a disadvantage. That's the way to do it. And then hopefully you create consensus through providing leadership on the issue. That's, to me, a better play. It's not the play the president's taking.
And it's the greater foreign policy play, because it takes the people in that country who are witnessing what's going on in this country, and it makes them truly reject the tyranny of their government. That's the beauty. The greatest foreign policy is freedom, and we are supposed to be the example of that freedom. Instead, we have politicians that refuse to understand that.
Right. I mean, there's favored industries and disfavored industries, but we're all consumers, and which is one of the reasons Bastiat and other free market economists, philosophers would say that you look at these policies through the eye of the consumer. Sam Walton, why did he create Walmart? Because he wanted low-income families to have access to the same goods at reasonable prices as middle and upper-middle-income families. That was the impetus for it, and he created a model that allowed him to do it. And frankly, just thinking about China in present, without China, you wouldn't really have Walmart, certainly not in its current form. So, dot connecting on this stuff becomes sort of important rather than just treating this like a sporting event. Us versus China, us versus Canada, us versus the UK or the EU more generally.
And what happens when you forget that inflation and cost is a tax? That is the most deceptive of all taxes. And then we have the political sleight of hand where we stop calling things taxes. How many people that are filling up at a gas station right now realize that nearly 50% of the gallon of gas is a tax. This is my point.
By the way, speaking of which, you also have a president that has unleashed the energy boom rather than try to quell it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with everything he does.
That's different. Let's point out these distinctions.
Are you going to? I can criticize some of his actions without reject. I'm not rejecting the whole thing.
Then don't say it's a continuation of Obama's economic policies, because it manifestly is not.
Well, I think it is when you consider the bailouts. You're just changing.
You just said it was. You just said I can pick and choose things that are different. And now you're saying you can't.
I'm saying there are some benefits to Trump. It's not all bad. But what is bad is his economics. I feel his economics are, as I correctly called him, more than Obama. It's George Bush's policy. And he's going to be all in the next round of bailouts, which will be shortly.
Dan and McHenry, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good.
So I kind of patently disagree with Sean on this, because I feel like you have to look at more than just one thing at a time. I feel like people are focusing on the wrong thing. So, like, for example, if you look at the deal that we cut with the European Union, or supposedly cut with the European Union, if you watch the press release, that was partially supposedly caused by the tariffs that we put on them. So, in other words, we're using tariffs to push them in a certain direction. And if you look at tariffs for what they are, tariffs are constitutional use of the federal government's power. They're not. It's not a. Nothing. There's nothing wrong with tariffs as far as
they're supposed to be put on by Congress, though. You do understand that, right? Congress is the only one that has tax, not just Trump and his friends.
Constitutionality notwithstanding is a good policy. A tariff is a tax, right, Dan?
If it's right, I agree with you guys to that point. If it's permanent, I don't think these tariffs will be permanent. I think that's been the point the whole time. I think it's a bludgeon, and a lot of people have already said this besides myself. I think it's a bludgeon to get us where we need to go. And I think if you look at the other things that Trump has done. Sure, short term, yes, we're going to hurt a little bit, but our economy is the largest economy in the world.
But it's
right?
you.
So, I mean,
You're not bludgeoning Europe. You're bludgeoning Dan.
Well, you're bludgeoning Europe and China, too, by the way, and their consumers. Dan, how long is short-term for you? How much latitude are you willing to give the president on this approach?
A few months, maybe a year, a couple of years. I mean, it's not something I would think I would want in place for more than 5 years, put it that way.
All right. Thanks for the call, Dan. Appreciate it. Lee and Hammond.
Yeah, the difference is that with Trump, he's using Keynesian economics to help the little guy, the entrepreneur, instead of the crony capitalist like Sam Walton. But I had a question for
Sam was
Sean.
a crony capitalist?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Oh, you better believe he was.
On behalf of Sam Walton,
How do you think Sam Walton got to be Sam Walton? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
But I had a question for
he's
Sean.
wrong, but go ahead.
Yeah, how?
Go ahead. Let's get to the question.
How did that happen? You tell me then.
Anyway, I had a question for Sean. Sean, which one of these progressive Republicans is doing a better job economically than Trump? Like a Marco Rubio, Mitt Romney? Who's your
Lee,
guy?
I agree with you, brother. Listen, if you think I'm going to defend Marco Rubio, you're out of your mind. I'm not. Here's my point to you,
the only
Lee.
thing that would work, Sean, you have to run.
Here's my point
You're
with
the
you,
only
Lee.
guy talking this
The
way.
only guy that would have got Dan in his car and Lee and other listeners who
Thanks
are
for the call, Lee.
conservatives that we know to rally behind them because of the patriotism is the Earl Scheib salesman. That's my problem with Trump. If you took away his rhetoric, his salesmanship, we would flatly reject these policies. But he has Republicans mesmerized with this faux tribalism. That's my issue with it.
Oh, I don't know.
Take them issue by issue.
I think you have to. I don't know that that's true at all in terms of Republicans would reject these policies. So these are policies that have been pursued, as we've noted, by previous Republican presidents, including two-term Republican presidents.
I should clarify.
Yeah,
I meant Tea Party people, citizens. Tea Party citizens are the ones that are the victims of this kabuki theater. Tea Party citizens that raged against all of this Keynesianism that I speak of with Obama now wrap their arms around it because they feel it's Trump's. That's my problem, and the spending is number one.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Ford's summer sales event continues at Joe Cotton Ford.
That means you'll find the lowest prices of the year on all our great new and certified pre-owned Ford models. Get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Explorers, Escapes, and Edges. And it's the perfect time to get a new 2018 back-to-school Focus right now for just $14,995. Come in and see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience and why Ford is America's #1 brand. We've been treating people like you like friends and family for 44 years. And for the 5th year running, we're again your favorite Ford dealer. Don't forget all the Joe Cotton Ford exclusives that make a Ford from Joe Cotton Ford a better value. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. Through August 31st, all prices plus tax, title, license, and dock fees with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drugs and get rid of the pain. You do not need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain. Find the source and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with the chronic pain. You can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
Have you heard about New Life Church Cadets? New Life Church Cadets is a Christian club for boys grades 2 through 8th in New Lenox, Illinois. They also have clubs in the south and southwest suburbs of Chicago, as well as northwest Indiana. In Cadets, boys discover who God is and how He works in their lives and in the world by learning and doing through Bible lessons, merit badge work, crafts, service projects, Pine Car Derby, and camping. Cadets is a part of the Calvinist Cadet Corps, a non-denominational organization whose goal is to help boys grow more Christ-like in all areas of life by providing Christian men to act as leaders and mentors, working alongside the boys. To learn more, visit newlifenewlenox.org or call 815-462-0202. In today's culture, where males take a beating for being what God created them to be, New Life Church Cadets celebrates the male and shows boys how to become Christ-like men.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I just wanted to keep you up to date on how things are progressing. So I'm getting Balance of Nature every month, maybe sometimes twice a month, from my friend who had MRI done, CAT scan last week. A very good friend of ours who's a teaching nurse, told me 2 years ago she's going to be gone within 6 months. I'm so happy that for Balance of Nature because anything else was just not doing it for her.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Seems like summer just got started, but it's not too soon to start thinking about the fall, at least when it comes to your child's education. Registration for fall enrollment for grades 7 through 12 is happening now at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, providing young men and now women with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Since 1884, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin has been developing the minds and shaping the character of young men from around the country and around the world, many of whom have gone on to achieve great success. And now, that same opportunity is available for young women. They prepare cadets for success in life by instilling a solid work ethic, an understanding of the value of integrity and teamwork, and the ability to think critically, communicate well, and function in a diverse and ever-changing world. To learn more about fall enrollment or to schedule a visit, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, Bill from the South Loop gets the final word on our discussion of the Trump accomplishments or lack thereof so far. Bill, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, 4% growth solves everything, okay? Fiscal and regulatory policy was as tight as it could be over the last 10 years, and monetary policy was as easy as it could be over the last 10 years. And Scott Shellady will agree with me on this. Both of those two have to come into equilibrium.
As long as you don't mention debt.
We're easing fiscal policy, and monetary policy has to get off of 0% interest rates.
All right, thanks for the call, Bill. And because he invoked Scott Shellady, he gets the final word. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Cloudy skies, 70 degrees. We're following breaking news in Iowa this morning as Fox News is reporting that missing Iowa College student Molly Tibbetts has been found dead. Tibbetts vanished after a run on July 18th in her hometown of Brooklyn, Iowa. Investigators scoured the area, conducted hundreds of interviews. There was a reward posted of almost $370,000 for information that could help find the 20-year-old. Right now, details about where the body was located were not released. The last Nazi camp guard who became a U.S. citizen in 1957 has been deported from the United States and is now back in Germany. 95-year-old Yaakov Pauli arrived in the German city of Dusseldorf a few hours ago. U.S. officials say that al-Qaeda's head bomb maker is dead after a drone strike in Yemen. That strike took place last year and likely killed Ibrahim al-Ansari, the man most recently thought to be working on bombs that could fit into a laptop or a mobile device. Al-Ansari was behind the design of the underwear bomb that nearly went off in an airplane above Detroit, Christmas 2009. Here in the Chicago area, beachgoers can expect more dangerous conditions along Lake Michigan shorefront. National Weather Service says waves could reach 8 feet. Strong rip currents are expected. Chicago police say a man died overnight when he fell onto the CTA tracks on the city's north side near the Fullerton stop. And a top prosecutor says several Chicago police officers will be granted immunity from prosecution to try and compel them to testify. The murder trial of a former colleague accused of fatally shooting a black teen, Laquan McDonald. White Sox over the Twins 8-5. They were in Minnesota last night. They come home to face the Twins for 2 beginning this evening. The Southsiders will send out top pitching prospect Michael Kopech to the mound to make his major league debut. The news is a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 8:33, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher calls out the never-Trumpers.
They are so crazed, consumed with their personal hatred of this man that they don't care what happens to the country. They don't care what happens in terms of policy. They don't care what happens in terms of anything that has been achieved in the nearly 2 years that Donald Trump's been president. They are unglued.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee. The following is a paid political announcement.
We need strong borders to keep America safe. That's why President Trump is fighting to build the wall. But Senator Joe Donnelly's votes would have made us less safe. In Congress, Donnelly claimed he was, quote, 100% opposed to amnesty. But then he changed his position. In the Senate, Donnelly joined liberals like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and voted to give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants, even illegal immigrants who had committed serious crimes, including domestic violence and child abuse. Donnelly told us he was against amnesty, but then he voted for amnesty. Call Senator Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Tell him to fight for full border security funding in S3109, Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2019. Amnesty won't keep America safe. Fully securing our border will. Paid for by One Nation, www.onenationamerica.org.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, and here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 westbound traffic is jammed. I-65 to Burr. There's a crash blocking the left lane. Edens is fine inbound at 19 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, but outbound 36. The Spurs heavy both ways. Kennedy inbound delays start at Montrose. 48 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 38 from Montrose. 32 in the Express. Outbound 52 minutes to O'Hare. Eisenhower 51 minutes 390 to downtown. 35 from Manheim. Outbound 54 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lanes on Lakeshore Drive or southbound Wilson to Chicago Avenue and northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State heavy, 132 to Bradley. Northbound, the 83rd Street toll to 31st, and from the Reagan tollway to Lawrence. Adams tollway, though, 31 to Roselle and lead to the Tri-State. Reagan tollway from the Aurora toll to Washington. Northbound Veterans Memorial jammed, I-55 to Roosevelt. Southbound 53 delays on Rand to Higgins. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, cloudy, breezy. We'll have a couple of showers through the day and a high of 78, currently 71. Next news coming up at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Sean from Elmwood Park sitting in with us this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the truth of the foreclosure crisis. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy J. is Sean from EP, Sean from Elmwood Park. Our Campus Beat segment takes us across the pond to the University of Birmingham, where a government-funded study
Aren't they all?
will monitor the impacts of some innovative mentoring that's happening on campus there, mentoring of professors. White male professors will be given female minority mentors to monitor their conduct so as to coach them on bias.
What's the under-over of the pregnancy rate from this study? I say 30.
I hadn't considered that. I'll have to check back with the researchers. The program's director, we're going to try some innovative intervention such as reverse mentoring, where a junior BAMI,
excuse me,
a BAMI, it's an acronym.
All right.
Black, Asian, Minority, Ethnic, BAMI. You
like
got you got to keep up with the
I tell
terminology.
you, I like it.
Yeah, it really. I mean, it's you want to stay hip, you got to know the lingo.
So the next time somebody cuts me off, I could say, "You BAMI, you stupid." Yeah.
If that person is a Black, Asian, or minority ethnic.
I'm taking a shot. I think I'm right.
BAMI woman coaches a senior male white professor and this is to empower academics to challenge senior level decisions with appropriate backing and support. I have no idea what that means. Basically, it's sort of a PC cover on campus there to show BAMI women, be more specific, in positions of authority over white men to ensure that they mind their P's and Q's. Rod Dreyer at the American Conservative called it a way to use tax dollars to humiliate senior professors by assigning young commissars to monitor them. It's a racist and sexist idea on top of it.
I love it. You're scoffing at this, but I love it because if there's anything these limey professors need is somebody slapping them around. So if it has to be a 300-pound, 40-year-old black lady who may be Asian, I say go for it.
All right. By the way, just continue to update your knowledge of the 21st century nomenclature. Wanted to, because this will be on campus as well, and so your daughters are going to be on college campus soon.
Year, I think. I hope she joins the Army. I don't care what, you just get out of the house.
Okay, great. LGBTQIA Safe Sex Guide.
Oh.
The LGBTQI Safe Sex Guide.
They got a safe sex guide, huh?
Yeah. To be trans-friendly, the term for female genitalia
is move it out of the way.
What?
No, All right.
Oh, boy. No, that's not it. According to the LGBTQIA Safe Sex Guide, you are not to use the word vagina anymore. You were to use the word front hole.
Ooh, really? And that's better?
The password is front hole if you want to be trans sensitive on campus or just in your everyday life. I don't know how much
So that's like
any of these terms come up in your everyday life. They shouldn't if they're coming up a lot, but just so you know.
That's not good. I feel better about, the vajayjay word.
David in McCook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm really surprised at this study that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they beat California to the punch. Something stupid like this.
True. Thanks for the call, David. You can count on the fact that the University of California, the California university system will be waiting for the results of the study at the University of Birmingham with bated breath. There's no question. Now, on the good news front on college campus, Wake Forest University, the Demon Deacons, new project on civil discourse, and this is at American University School of Public Affairs. It's going to coordinate school-led discussions of this sort, including one that happened at Wake Forest, I should mention. And here's what they're doing at Wake Forest. Dinner parties for 10 to 16 people at a time. After pilot sessions with parents and alums in 45 cities over the past year, the aim is to get 1,000 undergraduates and another 2,000 parents and alums to the dinner table in the school year. The dinner table approach is intimate setting, reveal things about yourself, find connections with others, feel more confident working together. And it's a way to make those intellectual and interpersonal connections that perhaps you won't make on a college campus when you're just identified by your race and or gender.
The last thing I need
or
is
front hole.
The last thing I need is more mingling with strangers. I want to pick who I want to hang around.
Well, you're not going to Wake
dinner
Forest.
with. No.
You couldn't get in.
No, probably not.
Right.
Nor would I want to go unless I, of course, needed money. I would just take it from them.
But I know this is sort of structured and it's sort of, creepy in that you have to structure human interaction. But it turns out this is important in terms of your daughters getting the most out of college. And also, at least this cuts against the intersectionality of grouping people by their race and or gender and or front hole. And you just have a conversation with a dozen people and you start to make interpersonal connections so you get away from the poison of identity politics. So that's positive.
At an orchestrated, political, agenda-driven tip of a spear. So the school is making me do this. It's not bad enough I got to give you the money. I got to listen to you. I got to pretty much screw up my kid. I got to, try to give her the other information as you've poisoned her brain into this socialist quagmire that you like. Now I got to commingle with you?
Well,
I'm out.
Baby steps here.
I'm out.
We'll get to a prof parenting tip for you a little bit later. Mike in Griffith, Indiana.
Hey, is the new term front hole or holy Clint and Tony? You get that, John?
Thanks for the call, Mike.
I got it.
Kindred spirits of Sean's there in Griffith, Indiana.
Thank you.
Steve in Niles.
Yeah, for a frigid woman, I believe it would be called an ice hole.
Yes, thanks very much for the call,
My
Steve. I appreciate
goodness, you started this whole thing. I wanted to skip the story.
Great Roman Moroni impersonation from Steve in Niles, too. Amy in the North Side.
Hi. I don't understand.
Annie, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't understand why the word vagina or penis, why are these offensive all of a sudden?
Or what?
I don't get it.
Well, because that's not trans-sensitive, because, that connotes a certain cisgendered identity, and that's, by its very nature, discriminatory and intolerant.
You just came up with it. I say we go with the word connotes.
Connotes?
It fits everything.
Connotes. All
Get your
right.
connotes out of the way. I love it.
It's really weird. I'm a nurse, and I'm just thinking where this is going to lead us. It's so for the trans community, biology or body parts don't really exist anymore.
First of all,
Well, let me explain this to you, since I'm sort of well schooled in newspeak. Women, some women claim they're men, but they're still anatomically female. they feel that accurately labeling their genitals is problematic because they don't identify with the medically correct terms. So they accurately fear that if someone knows they have a vagina, as it used to be called, these people will assume that they are female when they have decided that they're not female, and so thus the front hole.
First of all, Prof.
Does that help, Annie?
I can't stand a toupee on a bald guy, let alone pretending these women are men.
Thanks for the call, Annie. I do the best I can to try and assimilate into the great Borg of the left, but I mean. By the way, how to get the most out of college. This is a serious note. This is a piece by Frank Bruni in the New York Times, who, even though he's a leftist, writes some pretty decent columns about higher education and has done a lot of research about kids getting the most out of higher ed. And when you're paying $50 or $60 or $100 a clip, maybe you want to think about your kid not just getting into the best school, but getting the most out of that best school they get into, right?
Well, I mean, I hope. Yes, you hope, but you do realize that these are individuals we're talking about. I hate this whole idea that you just attend something and therefore you are.
No, but I mean, it's the approach you take, the old aphorism, it's not where you go to college, it's how you go to college. So in terms of, parents get so involved in getting their kid to the right college, making sure it's the right fit. Well, then what about the experience when you're there? And so there's some research and guideposts that suggest that, one of the things, not surprisingly, is, I've often said, life is about the connections you make, intellectual and interpersonal. And so that's what turns out to be true. And Bruni reminds some readers of a interview he did with Condi Rice when she was at the University of Denver. She liked to sign up at the front end of office hours because she wanted to catch professors when they weren't feeling depleted and watching the clock. She read up on professors beforehand if their written work was accessible, familiarized herself with it so she could make mention of it to show that she was serious and thoughtful and interested in their work. And he suggests, based on a number of studies, including some of his own research, that the game changers for kids in terms of getting the most satisfaction and the most out of college, establishing connections with a mentor, including the professorate, taking on a sustained academic project, playing a significant part in a campus organization. All of these, of course, reflect engagement and commitment to what you're doing during the 4 years you're there, spending a couple of $100,000 of your money.
Make them pay for it. You want a kid to pay attention? Go get a job and pay for it, you bum. I'm sick of these kids walking around. Their parents are writing checks. That's the problem with it.
Is
or
that
you go the Bernie Sanders way and it's just free. The problem with it is, you know what? Let them earn it.
Is that your motivational speech to your daughters?
Oh, please. It's like having a boat. You just keep wasting money. Go ahead.
Steve in Oswego, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, taking it one step further from that guy with a frigid woman and an ice hole. So what do you call a vagina for a woman who's very loose?
What's that?
You call it a free hole.
Thank you for the call.
You see
Steve.
what you started? You did this whole thing.
Look, the only way you're going to bring the immature into the Newspeak fold is by engaging them.
You know what
This is what I learned from reading Frank Bruno.
You know why I feel good about myself? I have to get up at this ungodly hour to come in, which I love, by the way, but I take the route past Heavenly Bodies. And, I love when you see the drunken stumble bum just leaning there waiting for his Uber on the side of the road. I feel very good about myself.
You should perhaps stop, talk to some of the patrons
Oh,
there,
I've
make sure
been
make sure they understand the new vocabulary.
Clear it all up.
You don't want anybody to be offended. Kurt in Norridge.
Hi, Dan.
Norridge.
Hey, I'm in Norridge. Usually I'm in Park Ridge.
Yeah.
Hey, what percentage of the population do you think is transgender that we're changing our lives over this, what is it, a half of 1%?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Times it by 6, and that's what they are in Illinois and Cook County. Go ahead.
In the gay population, what percent do you think they are of the population?
It's about 2% total. Like LGBTQIA is like under 2%. About 2%.
Yeah, so, what are we talking about here? This is insanity.
I'm talking about enlightenment, Kurt. That's what we're talking about.
Come on.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Cook County Commissioner office.
Sean doesn't sound enlightened to me. He's driving by heavenly bodies.
Correct. You're correct on that score. Thank you, Kurt.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
It's
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
It's my last weather till tomorrow. Today, mostly cloudy and breezy with a couple of showers. It's going to get up to 78. Tonight, showers in spots. Forget about it's cloudy, for God's sake. Low 60. Tomorrow, delightfully sunny with a few clouds, high 78. Thursday, it's going to be the same thing. And Friday, not so much. It gets back to today. And get it in while you can. So take the days off and go golfing. Jim Telemonte, where is the golf course that I can get to quickly without the Prius broken down with the liberal driving?
Well, good luck. Plenty of liberals driving around Chicago right now. We have delays on the inbound Kennedy from Montrose to the Burn Circle, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 38 from Montrose, 32 in the Express. Outbound still 52 minutes to the airport, 22 to get to Montrose. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 34, Eisenhower. 55 minutes, 390 to downtown. Crash just reported at Cicero, outbound 52 minutes. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 37. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound delays are 137 to Bradley and Bussy to Irving Park. Northbound, 83rd Street toll to 31st, and from the Reagan tollway to Lawrence. The other tollways also have heavy delays. And 8094 westbound is bottled up I-65 to Burr after a crash. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you're thinking about saving money this summer, why not start by paying less interest on your credit card balances? It's time to refinance with a credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream. I've talked to the folks at Lightstream, and they are knowledgeable and professional and helpful. It's an easy way to save hundreds to thousands of dollars and lower your interest rate. Lightstream offers credit card consolidation loans from 5.89% with autopay. That's significantly lower than the average 18% APR on credit cards. You could get your funds as soon as the day you apply through Lightstream. And you can save even more with an additional interest rate discount on top of Lightstream's already low rates. The only way to get this discount, though, is to go to lightstream.com/WIND, our call letters. That's lightstream.com/WIND. Subject to credit approval, rate includes 0.5% autopay discount. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for more info.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-694-2640 now. That's 800-694-2640 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-694-2640 to learn more. 800-694-2640. That's 800-694-2640. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints in the spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code Chicago, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson.
And Joe Walsh from MyPillow.
You're hearing from both of us because we've got two great MyPillow deals to tell you about.
And of course, because I'm the resident expert on the great night's sleep you're going to get with a MyPillow.
Is that why you sleep till noon every day, Joe?
Nice shot. Part of the reason. The other is because I'm not on the radio until the afternoon.
Lucky you. Well, I've got to get up early to do Chicago's Morning Answer, and I'm not sure I would get proper rest without MyPillow.
Hey, and I sleep even better with MyPillow because I added the MyPillow mattress topper to my bed. You got to get one. And when you buy the MyPillow mattress topper and use promo code Joe, you'll score 2 standard MyPillows for free.
For me, I love the MyPillow Go Anywhere pillow. So convenient. I suggest you use the promo code Amy. Buy one MyPillow and you'll get a second MyPillow plus 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows free.
Hey, either way, you're going to sleep like you never have before with MyPillow.
But definitely use promo code Amy.
Nah. Promo code Joe is the way better choice.
MyPillow.com. Promo code Amy.
Promo code Joe is way better, way better.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, Mueller, CPA.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560. The Answer.
Did you know, Amy, that McHugh Construction is the premier builder of landmark, one-of-a-kind structures in Chicago and across the Midwest, but they also perform on smaller projects?
Yes, Dan, I do. The Special Olympics Eternal Flame of Hope at Soldier Field, Gibson's Italia, Mad West Restaurant in the United Center, and the recently completed Ritz-Carlton lobby. In fact, McHugh has served public and private sector clients since 1897 on big and small projects, and are proud to have played a major part in improving Chicago's infrastructure and helping to redefine its iconic skyline. For information on how McHugh can play a part in your project, visit McHughConstruction.com.
Yeah, that Gibson's Italia is nice. That's McHughConstruction.com, MCHUGH Construction.com. McHugh Construction proudly supports the 100 Club of Chicago, and many McHugh employees have volunteered their time for the past decade. The 100 Club of Chicago provides financial support and scholarships to families of first responders who have lost their lives in the line of duty. For info on how you can help first responder families, visit 100clubchicago.org.
AM 560. The Answer.
We were having some scatological fun with the new trans-sensitive lingo that is required
What
for
other kind
polite
of fun
society.
would you have other than that?
Well, and we're not the only ones. Sacha Baron Cohen got Howard Dean to come on his spoof program and discuss Hillary's gender.
Do you believe Hillary is actually a woman? Because there is...
I know. There's lots of ideas floating around, and, I know her.
Well, how to explain that?
How to explain what?
Look in here. How do you explain that?
I explain that as maybe the trouser presser did a lousy job. Who knows?
Did he point to the Schweinsteiger?
That's what he was pointing to. The debate over front hole will have to wait till tomorrow. Sean from Elmwood Park, thanks for joining us. Now we turn it over to Mike Scott.
Storms causing